if you don't mind, unless
No.
you want me muted.
No, that's fine.
What was your Reddit username? Because I'm gonna
Oh.
include you.
Boy, I don't even remember. I think it's Jochen Haydn.
Wait, we have each other in the DMs. Can you send me the link to your YouTube live again?
Oh, sure. Coming up.
I'm gonna make a nice screenshot of our airplane for that post as well.
There you go. I just DM'd it to you. I am live, by the way, so that's fine. Just so you know.
Okay.
I don't mind if people hear us talking because we're working on stuff, so it's fine.
They will hear us talking plenty soon anyway, so I don't care either.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, I'll send a trouble ticket to the shared flight people because it's on the co-pilot's radio stack. The VHF1 button is constantly flickering. It's making that clicking sound. It'll go away when we put it on
you know what? In that case, let me just power the aircraft for you. Maybe that will help.
Okay. Done. It's fixed.
Amazing. What a bizarre bug.
I noticed this on the MD-11. There was a couple things that didn't work right as well. It's not a big... I mean, they have to basically do the integration for every plane.
I mean, to be fair, it works a lot better than the plugins from Microsoft do.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty cool.
I tried to use those quite a lot, and you could never finish a flight without significant desynchronization.
I don't think
we had some... Only the speed thing was, and flight directors at the end for me were completely off as well. And also the G-load. For me, the aircraft was in a negative Gs all the time, but I mean, none of those things are that important.
Right. Okay. So just keep giving me cues of what I should be doing as the first officer / pilot monitoring. If I'm not doing something I need to be doing, just remind me. I really don't mind.
Yeah. Just so you know, I'm in the right seat.
You're in the right seat?
Yeah, because I have all the controls for it.
Okay, let me scoot over to the left seat then. This is like if you're the captain, though, you should be sitting in the left seat.
Not always. It could be a line training, and
okay.
I'm training you to be a captain.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, in that case, the Big Daddy captain sits in the right, and the trainee in the left.
Okay, well, hey, let me adjust my views real quick. I can do that on the fly here.
Okay, I'm just gonna work on that Reddit post like I said, and then we're off.
Okay, yep, I'm all set here. I'm glad we did that first flight. Hey, Tweedle, man.
Yeah.
We just did a flight offline just to make sure everything worked, and it worked pretty good. I didn't crash the plane, so good start. That's why we're starting a little bit later. He wanted to make sure that we weren't going to be a complete cluster. You know what? And I don't think it was.
Hey, it was a team decision.
No, it was good. I'm glad we did it that way, so we can give a much better performance now. And I like that you're flying. I feel more comfortable with that. I'll work the radios. We have because we have ATC here quite a bit, so we're gonna have center, approach, and looks like ground at San Diego. So we'll be pretty busy with radio frequencies and switching that stuff. And it's
San Francisco traffic Delta 223.
It's gonna be fun having somebody else be able to do that stuff, so you can focus on flying. Dude, you weren't kidding. This is a beautiful paint job. Wow.
I like their silver one more, but I don't think they do that one with A320s.
They don't... You talking about the polished aluminum?
Yeah, the metallic one, yeah.
They don't do that at all because it's very expensive to maintain.
Oh, okay.
Paint is easier because you don't have to polish it all the time. It is
fair
really
point. I just I like how it looks, and the moment I get the 757, as soon as Flight Factor, updates the textures on that one, I think I'm gonna be abusing that shiny livery.
It'll be great because I love the way that X-Plane 12 does those kind of reflections. It'll look really nice. Yeah, Tweedle, man, if this shared flight keeps going as well as it does, I want to start doing this a lot more with other aircraft. I, I think people need an MD-11 flight instructor, and that's where I could probably add value. I don't know anything about Airbus, so um, I'm glad he's here to help me. Hey, by the way, what do you want me to call you? Like, what name? What's your first name, or what do you
It's
go by?
Casper.
You said Casper?
It's Casper.
Casper.
Yeah, like the ghost.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Shane. That's my real name.
Shane and Casper. Okay.
I like it.
Good thing you said that, because I would be calling you Johan.
Yeah.
Is that how you even pronounce your
It's
nickname?
German. It's Jochen.
Johan.
Yep. Okay, I got my views set up for the left seat now. Everything's perfect. And then I will probably just be referencing the checklist that you sent me.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So we're kind of on the same page.
It has
with that.
some. Yeah.
I will skip the stuff like mobile phones and things. I don't think we need to read that checklist item.
Yeah, I should go live as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I've been had live for a few minutes, but that's cool. Go ahead.
I'll be right back in 2-3 minutes.
No problem,
and
man.
Off we go then.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, a lot of things I have to set up, and my mind is all over the place today.
Do you want me to start setting up the FMS or wait for you?
No worries. That's gonna be 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll just sit here.
San Francisco traffic, Delta 223, we're going to be taxiing the runway 28 left via Mike 1 Bravo. Foxtrot 1, cross runway 1 left, cross runway 1 right, Foxtrot, San Francisco.
And for everybody who's watching, my co-pilot today is a Casper. He's a real A320 type-rated pilot for a European airline. So this is going to be absolutely correct. All right, professionally done. Way better than what I do because I'm not a real pilot. This guy is. So when you he'll get it right. Fuel on board 4,400 pounds. That doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'm back. I'm about to make this post, and I thought I would just mention in that one that if this keeps working nicely, people can hit me up to learn a little bit about flying the Airbus and maybe hit you up to learn a little bit about flying MD-11. Do you want me to include that or not really?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, please. And make sure that you give me links to all of your social media, your Twitch channel, all that stuff, and I'll put them in my video description here so people can go see your stuff.
Okay, I'll just put yours as well in, and I will mention that Pilot Monitoring Perspective is on YouTube, Pilot Flying, on Twitch, and MD-11, you, Airbus, me, and I will send you the links in a moment to everything.
Cool, and I'll make sure it's in my video stuff so people can go join your channel and everything. This is gonna be fun, man. Go get some ATC and everything today. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I really like this. I think shared cockpit is like, the missing link of
We're actually going to be making an amendment
flight
to our
simming.
taxi route. We're going to be taking Bravo.
Alright, I'm gonna go over to Unicom for now.
Yeah, it's loud as hell.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but for stream I need my second iPod, and that one is just starting up.
No problem, man. This is all good. I mean, people are gonna really enjoy this. So, like, however long it takes to do it right, let's do it. Okay. Thanks for reminding me to update my auto DGS, dude. Because like I've been I didn't even know there was an update. This one was posted yesterday, so this is gonna be pretty fun to have this. So, remind me, who typically does the FMS setup? Is that you or me?
Pilot flying.
Okay. I have the flight plan up, so if you need me to read off anything so you can keep your head down, I'm happy to read off as you go.
Sure, thank you.
For those of you watching, here is our flight plan today. American Airlines 1763. We're going from San Francisco to San Diego. Casper will be pilot flying. I'll be pilot monitoring. We switched on the last flight down. We went from Portland, which is another beautiful airport, down to San Francisco, and it was a good training flight for me to kind of learn some of the cockpit flows and how things are done. I don't know if I got it all, but I got some of it. So Casper flying this time makes me feel a lot more comfortable. He can probably talk through what he's doing, and we can all learn and listen as he does it. Be a better way to do it.
Okay, my iPad is ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna start my stream and off we go.
Very
So
good.
it's literally last 30 seconds. Almost everything is done. I've sent you all the links.
Okay, I'll start putting those in.
Yours is posted as well.
I am adding them to my video description now, but I can do that off on the side.
Okay, let's start the stream. Later on, not necessarily now. I would just ask you to maybe go to that post that I've sent you and just type whatever message so people who want to fly MD-11 with you can find you easily, because I've just included you by name.
Awesome.
I don't know if I can tag you or anything like that on Reddit.
You got it, man.
Okay, there it is. The stream is live. Amazing. So I think we can start once my manager works.
Okay. All right,
Okay, there we go. Everything's live and working. We're gonna skip Volanta for this flight. Okay, let me just jump into the flight deck and off we go.
Okay.
Okay, so preliminary cockpit preparation is usually done by me, so I'll just quickly go through all of that.
Okay.
It's not gonna take too long. Sorry, go ahead.
Just kind of gently like mumble through what you're doing, and I'll kind of just watch you do it. I'll move the screens around as you're pushing buttons, but go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, sure. So in the real life, this is usually done as a read and do checklist.
Okay.
In the simulator, I tend not to do that, especially since I cannot share these checklists with you.
Understood.
So I usually combine the preliminary cockpit preparation together with my flows. So I'm right now preparing overhead panel, turning stuff on like Adiru and this ground control push button. That's the voice recorder. So in case we do something stupid, they get to hear about it.
Oh, sure.
From the very beginning of the flight. And setting up things like lights, it's the just the basic aircraft preparation for our flight today. Since we powered on the aircraft earlier, now we can also start testing the systems. So we can test the APU. That's the fire loop test. And we can also start it. Today we took plenty of fuel. So we've met earlier, we discussed how much fuel we were going to take. We took some extra so we can burn that on the stand,
Sure.
Greenest way to operate an airplane. Just burn some fuel on the stand. Okay, and while that is starting, that's pretty much my flows actually. Let's just go ahead and set the altimeter to the local setting. We are on standard for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay. I think it's 3009, but I'll confirm that right now.
Okay, so
Nope. It's
in the real cockpit.
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
3010.
Sometimes I interrupt.
Go ahead.
3010. Okay. So we can set that. So in the real life, what would happen now is you would be on the walk around. I guess we don't do that. So Pilot monitoring usually helps with getting things like ATs or weather information. If we don't have ATC, then METAR is just fine.
Okay.
We're gonna need that, to discuss the departure later. But other than that, you don't have much work actually. Most of it falls down on me, and you only really start working once I've completed my flows and my FMGC setup.
Okay.
I'll let you know as soon as that's done.
Sure. Yep. I'm just following along right now.
Okay, so do you want me to go through the things I do on my screen as well? Just
sure. I'm watching as you do it, but by all means, go ahead and talk through it and let me know if I can help with the flight plan or anything.
Okay, so the first thing we do in the FMS is actually we should go to the data page. We should check our aircraft status. If we have the correct engine variant, we do. If our nav database is valid. You can see that on the MCDU number 2 right now on my side, or you can follow along on yours.
Yep.
And if that looks good, we can go into init alpha, as we call it. So we just press init and we start filing the first things. For the flight there. So basic things like our flight call sign. It's always the call sign, not the flight number. Departure, airport, destination, usual Airbus stuff. Flight number is American 1763. We say the numbers differently in Europe, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. So if you hear me say it differently sometimes, don't mind me.
And I speak the local language here, so when we're talking to LA Center, I'll be able to talk to them the way that they expect us to speak to them.
Yeah, we're gonna appear very professional, thanks to you.
Yeah, I've been flying on VATSIM in SoCal for 20 years, so I know how to deal with those people.
I've only tried flying in US a couple of times, but the thing is that procedures and comms are so different compared to Europe that it just takes some time for me to adjust myself to it,
So I do fly to Germany quite a bit in the MD-11 for UPS, and I always dread it when I'm flying into Germany. Like if ATC is online, I'm like, oh god, I gotta try to figure out what the heck they're trying to tell me to do and stuff.
Yeah, so for me, it's the opposite. It's exactly opposite. Okay, we can take a look together at the charts just
sure.
to make sure I have the correct stuff with this SIDs.
Okay, let me.
Seagull with Young transition. Okay, that's pretty straightforward.
Okay, hold on real quick. I gotta kind of build a flight plan in what's it called?
Navigraph?
Yeah, because I don't have I usually just bring it over for SimBrief, so let's go new flight. You go ahead, you keep doing your thing. I'll catch up.
Okay, sure. I think I caught my bearings. At first I wasn't sure how to set this up, but it looks good now.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. I got SFO in San Diego, and our alternate is LAX. I got that in there too.
Okay. Oh, they don't have an ILS for runway 27 in San Diego.
No, it's not because there's buildings in the way. It's a very fun approach. You're gonna love it. I like it going in there.
Okay, for now I'm gonna set us up for RNP Zulu, and we'll see.
Yes, that's the standard one that you can expect going in there. That's the normal one that you'll get. Luckily for you, I've been to San Diego many times.
Do we have VLS here? No, we don't. That makes it even better. Okay, great. So our routing is set up, I would say. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
On the RadNav page, we don't have to do anything because we have, RNAV departure, so no need to put any ground stations manually. In progress page, I usually like to put departure runway. So departure airport runway that I would expect to land on if we have an engine failure or something like that. If there is a time critical situation where I don't really have time to think about it too much, I just want to have some kind of a
something in there,
quick reference, just to estimate my energy for the arrival. So we're gonna set that up for 28 left. That's the runway we landed on when we came here.
Okay.
And now on my progress page, we have a bearing and the distance to runway threshold. This, by the way, is separate between the boxes or FMGCs. So you can put there whatever you want.
Okay.
It can be something else, or it can be the same thing. This is kind of a pilot's preference. Everybody has their own way of setting that up usually.
Okay.
Okay, now we can go to init Bravo. So our weights that we're gonna need for performance, and we can just take that from ToLissA. So we have 152.9er. It feels so bizarre because, you know, I operate with kilograms, and just seeing these values.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my brain just shuts off for a second.
Yeah, and when you sent me the first flight plan that was in kilograms, I'm like, what is this nonsense? I don't know what this is.
Yeah. What the fuck is a kilometer or something like that?
Yeah.
And now that we have weights and fuel in, I also modified the fuel figures that we have. Oh, wait, I didn't insert our alternate, I guess. No, I didn't. Okay, KLX.
Yeah.
So I'm also modifying all the fuel figures because what we have here by default in Airbus, the aircraft calculates these values as shortest distance and most efficient way to get to KLX, for example, but that doesn't have to, you know, reflect reality of a typical diversion. So the flight plan that we get, the OFP, it will have usually a different figures that account for things like the likely routing that ATC would give you in case you divert.
Okay.
And it usually gets a little bit higher. So we want to have the most restrictive value there in case we have to divert to make sure we are fully legal with that.
Yeah, and now
And
I
final
have the
result
flight plan
is
up
also
on my screen right now, so people can see where you're getting the routing data from.
Okay, and last step we have to do here, second to last, is our performance. So we're gonna go for flaps 1 plus F, and we will do flex departure. With that, we have V1 of 149er, VR149er as well, and V2 151.
And you're getting that off the flight plan, is that correct?
No, so that comes from ToLissA performance calculation.
Oh, that's
in
right.
the
That's right.
ISCS, I think it's called.
Yes, that's right. Performance.
So now thrust reduction and acceleration. I'll just quickly explain it if you want me to.
Sure.
Because I don't think it's a very well understood concept in general. So where do you get this data from? Usually that's the airport briefing. I use in real life different chart provider than Jeppesen, and we have their special briefing charts that tell us what kind of a noise abatement procedure the airport wants us to fly, and these values come from that. I guess in Jeppesen that might be a part of these briefing charts as well, but I'm not familiar with Jeppesen, so I'm not going to look for that. And for the sake of the flight today, we're going to use NADP2, which is a 1000 as we refer to it. And that basically means we reduce the power from takeoff to climb, and we accelerate the airplane at 1000 feet above the runway elevation. So in our case, 1040 feet for both.
Okay.
And the next one is engine out acceleration. That is only used in case of a engine failure. And this is the altitude where we will level off the aircraft just for a moment to accelerate it to green dot and continue climbing towards MSA. And in most cases, that will be 1,500 feet over the airport elevation. So we're going to just put 1540 there, and that's it. Rest of the data we have from ToLissA. So we have flaps 1 with THS up 1.1 and flex 62. There we go. Okay, and the last step of the FMGC preparation in the Airbus, that will be the secondary flight plan. Now, you don't really have to do that, but if you fly with failures on, you might want to. Typically, we would use this for engine out procedure if we have one. So let's say here in San Francisco, we just want to climb straight on runway heading and then, you know, fly some kind of an approach back. So I'm just going to put that in the box. So in case we do have, you know, a critical failure, we don't have to redo all of the steps. Instead, we can just activate the secondary flight plan. So I'll just prepare it for ILS runway 28 left, no star, no transitions, nothing, just the approach. Basically, that's it. We can clear this point. Oops. And there we go.
All right, real
That's
quick.
fully prepared box.
We got a little bit of a desync here, so don't mind me. I'm gonna clear out your CDU because it's just adding things up and it's not submitting them. So now we can restart on clear stuff. So you're good. Continue.
Okay, sure. That's pretty much the preparation of the FMGC on my side, so that's done. And at that point, you as a pilot monitoring, you'd be fully back in the flight deck, and you can cross-check whatever I've done there, you know, against the flight plan if the routing looks good.
Okay.
If the ground distance matches up between the FMGC and the flight plan. If I inserted correct cruise level, cost index, these kinds of things to make sure that everything is there as it should be.
Oh yeah, that looks
and
good.
as soon as
cost index 15. Yeah, that's all. That's good. Continue on. I'm just kind of looking at it as we go.
Okay, so just let me know when you're done with that. And I think at this point we could also do the cockpit preparation checklist.
Okay, I think I have that up here. If you're ready, I'll skip the gears and pins. Interphone check, security search check, signs.
So we have that on and auto.
Okay. Seatbelts, fuel quantity.
So we have 15,920 pounds, and that is balanced.
Okay. Barrel reference.
So we have altimeter 3010.
Yeah, 3010. Check. Takeoff data.
So runway 28 right full length.
28 right or 28 left?
28 right.
Okay, you want to use 28 right. Right, okay.
Oh no, actually, you know what? We're gonna go for 28 left.
Yeah, 28. They typically, I think they land on. Well, I don't know if it really matters. So, which one do you want? We'll take whichever one you want.
No, I'm the kind of a pilot that just likes to expedite things as much as I can, and it's a shorter taxi. So 28 left it is.
28 left. Okay.
There we go. I'm just going to reinsert the performance data because that will disappear whenever the speeds and flap settings will disappear whenever you make a change to the runway.
Okay.
Same goes for your approach performance. That will disappear as well.
Okay.
Okay. So if that's done, then we can just call the checklist completed and we can move on.
Okay.
Still no ATC?
Let me confirm that. No ATC. We're just going to be on CTAF, which I'm going to go ahead and tune in now.
Okay. I'll just connect the tow to the aircraft so we don't have to wait.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the charts together and go for some kind of a briefing.
I'm ready.
Okay. So you as a pilot monitoring, after you checked the FMGC preparation, you can brief us through what kind of departure we're going to fly, if there is anything special about it. You know which runway we're going for, and then I'll brief you on how am I gonna fly the aircraft.
Okay. So you're doing that, or I'm doing that?
So you start with the things that are kind of like, you know, facts. So which kind of departure, what runway, what MSA do I have, how much fuel I have for that as an extra, and then I'll brief you on how am I gonna operate the airplane.
Okay. So it looks like we're gonna be departing on runway 28 left. So do we talk about the taxi routing at this point or what?
No, we can leave that for later.
Okay. You're going to be using the Seagull 1 RNAV departure. And then extra fuel you have on board is going to be... let me get that. You have what it looks like 1,000 pounds of extra fuel for your uses. I'm not used to doing briefs like this, so you correct me if I get it wrong.
No worries. Yeah, so we have 1,000 pounds extra, and that's gonna be 11 minutes.
Okay.
It's not a lot, but it's more than enough.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Seagull and 28 right. Now I will brief the taxi routing for us. So since we don't have any ATC, we'll be the ones who decide how we're gonna taxi after we push. We'll just go. And you can help me here if you don't think that's a good idea, but I think best thing to do here is Alpha and then into Foxtrot. We'll cross both runways 01, so 01 left and 01 left and right, yeah.
Yes.
Then we'll continue via Foxtrot for the holding point Foxtrot runway 28 left.
Concur.
For the stop margin, I think we have plenty. I mean, it's over 11,000 feet long runway. That aircraft doesn't need that much, so in case we have to reject the takeoff, we have plenty of time to stop on the runway. And for how am I gonna fly the airplane? So as you've mentioned, we're gonna fly Seagull 1. I'm gonna keep the aircraft in my hands initially for sure. I don't know for how long, it depends on our workload. And if ATC does not come online, we might fly with a little bit of a shortcut. We might not fly to Wemi. We might just proceed to Seagull after we gain some altitude after takeoff.
Sure.
So we have some terrain clearance. And then via flight plan route as we have it filed.
Perfect.
What else should I brief you on here with? Automation, I'm gonna keep the auto thrust on after departure. I think that's pretty much it. Now, the next part of the briefing is usually the threats. It's called threat and error management, so we have to discuss what do we think might be a threat for this operation. The first thing that comes to my mind here, whenever flying on VATSIM, especially with no ATC, it's other airplanes. Because everybody kind of does what they want to do, and some people don't communicate that.
Speaking of which, there's a Southwest Airlines 737 landing right now, and I have not heard him once, so there you go.
Yeah, so for example, this is a pretty valid threat, and whenever we discuss threats, we also discuss how we can mitigate it. So just to try to make you accustomed to these kinds of briefing, how do you think we can mitigate the threat of VATSIM?
We're just going to have to look out. be very vigilant that we don't get in somebody's way here. You
hit the keyword there. Whenever we have this kind of a threat in real life, we also just say, okay, vigilant, monitor the situation, accurate comms, and whatnot. Especially when we cross the runways, I would say that's going to be the most critical part of this departure, right? Crossing these two runways. We had some people depart from them earlier, so we have to be careful not to have a runway incursion there. Other than that, I don't see anything significant.
Okay. Did you turn on the APU?
Yes.
I didn't even hear you do it.
It's part of a cockpit preparation.
Okay.
We cannot do the checklist without it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay. So I have removed chocks as well, and external power has been removed. Cockpit preparation checklist is completed. We have the briefing done. We know what we're gonna do. So how about I just pre-plan the pushback, and then we can do the before start flows and checklist?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay. Let me see how we can push this here.
Hey, just for temporarily, I'm gonna put 122.8 on VHF2 active because I think some people are not using the CTAP. That's why we're not hearing them. I'm gonna tune that in so we can monitor both channels at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So if you don't mind just taking a look at this apron, do you have any idea how they would usually push? I thought maybe we should just keep the aircraft connected to the TAC and push all the way to, I think it was Alpha.
Yeah,
because
so
I don't see a way for...
I've been here before, and this is always tight in this area. I've been here for real life. What they're typically going to do is push you back as much as you can, and then they're going to tow you forward until you get to that dashed area there just before Alpha.
Okay, I see.
So they're actually going to tow you forward once they back you out. Otherwise, you're too close to aircraft behind you, and you're going to blast them when you try to break away on to move forward.
So basically, okay, I think I've got it. We'll see how that's going to work for us. I'm going to paint some magic here, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so the plugin might cry about releasing the parking brake, so let's do the flow. For my side, it's pretty simple. I just turned the beacon light on, actually.
Okay.
And that's it. And from your side, you have to set the transponder, and actually that's it.
Okay.
And I think we got this message.
Yeah, can you give me the transponder? I did not get that. So did you get one?
Yeah,
from...
1736.
1736. Transponder 2. Okay. Do we go to TARA right now?
No, so that's gonna you're gonna do that the moment we are clear to line up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And one more thing about the briefing, which I forgot, we'll initially climb 6,000 feet. But I will increase that. You know, we're not gonna level off. I just set
that's the
first
top
constraint.
altitude on the departure, right?
Yeah, something like that. But we are never gonna. We are gonna set it higher much sooner than. We are not gonna reach it basically.
Yeah. That Seagull at or above 16,000. Got it.
Okay, so before start checklist.
Okay.
Or start checklist. I don't know.
Start
how it's called
checklist.
there.
Windows.
Closed.
Oh. I think my mine's closed. Okay. Doors.
Armed and closed.
Hey. Cockpit door is closed. Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
Set.
Okay. Beacon light is on. Nose for steering.
Disconnected.
Okay, that is the start checklist.
Completed. Okay, I'm gonna release the park brake and off we... Ah, man, I have this awful bug again.
Which one?
The one with my cameras, where my mouse does weird things. Do you mind checking something for me?
Sure.
If so, is there a way to like disconnect my camera from my mouse and explain maybe some kind of a keybind for that?
Double click your right mouse button. See what that does.
I fixed it. I just went to external view and that fixed
Okay.
the whole situation. Thank God. That was the same bug that caused me to, you know, restart the whole simulator last time we flew.
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna release the park brake now.
Okay.
It should work. Yeah. Okay, and we're gonna start engines in sequence with number 1 first and then number 2. We already got the clearance for that, so starting engine 1.
Okay.
So here on the status display, so the lower ecom, I'm just monitoring now the oil pressure. That's the only thing that our French aircraft doesn't monitor by itself during the start sequence. Of course, you periodically scan everything, but the oil pressure is the most critical component since it's not monitored by the FADEC. That's the name of the computer that's responsible for the startup.
There we go. That took a little bit longer to start, didn't it?
Yes, like I told you on the previous flight, the CFM engines are known to be slightly more powerful and a lot quicker to start than these ones. But these ones are slightly more reliable, especially in hot conditions. At least that's what I've been told when I visited Airbus. If we clip a terminal there or something, don't mind it. It's my, drawing skills with better.
No, it looks
pushback.
pretty good actually. Nice sharp turn there.
And starting engine 2.
Hey, starting engine 2. Man, this shared cockpit thing is so cool.
It really is. I honestly, when last couple of years I've been simming exclusively with Microsoft Flight Sim, and when they released 2024, I was so disappointed that it's not integrated by default, because I think that's the biggest missing link in the flight simulators.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have the ability to hop on into the aircraft together and fly it together like they're meant to be.
I could name a million times where I wish I had a co-pilot when I was really busy trying to fly and I was trying to work radios and they were giving me a bunch of direct twos, and I was like, man, I wish I had somebody here to help me out. Well, this is really fun.
Yeah. Especially in a complex aircraft where there is a lot of things to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in some, complex situations when good monitoring can be critical, challenging approaches, not your standard 3 degrees ILS into a nice airport, but...
Yep.
Okay, we have 2 good engine starts, but we're gonna wait with the flows and everything until they tow us. Yeah. Parking brake set.
San Francisco traffic, United 917, taxiing 28 left, Alpha Foxtrot.
I think that's the one on our
Yep.
left.
I see him. Yep.
Okay, we're gonna give way to him in case he asks, I think, if he's really ready.
Okay.
Do you remember the call sign just to make sure that's really him?
United 917, right?
917, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
we
it's
got a
the,
couple minutes. It's gonna take him a minute to get there. We could probably get moving if you want. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Ground from flight deck, we have 2 good engine starts. You may disconnect, hand signal on the right, please.
And you just let me know when you want me to run the next checklist, and I'll bring it up. And I got the radios whenever you're ready.
So before we do that, I'm still waiting for the hand signal and pilot monitoring. I'll just let you know what's your job after I do my flow, which I just did. So first thing is that you'll set the ground spoilers for takeoff.
Set.
Yep. Then you can reset the rudder trim with this black button.
Reset. Neutral.
Okay, and then flaps for departure. So today we're using config 1.
Hey,
And
flaps one
then
set.
THS.
Say again.
THS, so our trim.
Okay. What is the trim again? I don't think he entered it in here.
You can go for 1.1. Oh, it's desync then. And now we can do after start checklist.
Okay, after start checklist. Anti-ice.
Off.
Flaps.
Config 1 inserted, config 1 displayed.
One inserted, one displayed. Trim.
So for pitch we have 1.1 up and rudder 0.
Okay. ECAM status.
Checked.
After start checklist complete.
Okay, hand signal received, so we can advise the traffic that we're gonna taxi to 8 left after this United.
Okay.
Behind, I mean.
Yeah, behind him. We're gonna follow his taxi routing. All right.
Yep.
San Francisco traffic. American 1763 taxi runway 28 left behind the United 777 via Alpha Foxtrot cross 1 left, 1 right. San Francisco.
Okay, awesome. So brakes are released. Initially, we're gonna taxi an idle. I just want to see how ToLissA behaves on the ground. Real aircraft, even with a lot of passengers, you typically don't need any thrust at all to get it moving, and even accelerate it to 20, 30 knots. So I would like to see how it behaves with these engines, because I have not yet flown the CO in the simulator.
It's definitely rolling.
Yeah, but a bit slow. We'll see how it goes. We might have to add some thrust later. After we roll out on from the stern, we're gonna do a brake check.
Okay.
No traffic, mic check.
Region 5 by 5, how us?
5 by 5, thank you.
Okay, brake check.
Oh, there they are. Yep.
And we can do flight controls checks. So
Okay.
this time you're gonna be the one calling it out. As soon as I start pulling on the flight controls, that page is gonna pop out on the status display, system display, and
Okay.
you just call out what you see there.
Okay,
So
watching
I'm gonna
it now.
start with roll.
Okay, ailerons left, up.
So full left,
Okay, ailerons full right. Neutral. Elevators up, full. Elevator down, full. Neutral.
okay, and I'm not gonna do the rudder because I don't have rudder pedals, so we might do that at the holding point.
Okay, I can
And at
do them
this
too if
point,
you want.
Nah, it's okay.
Okay.
And now you can do your flight controls. That's silent, but you don't do the rudder.
Okay.
Okay, right is clear.
Left is clear.
Okay, super.
San Francisco traffic, unit 1743, on about 15-mile approach, runway 28 right. San Francisco traffic.
I don't see him through the fog up there, the haze, but we may... I don't know if we're going to be doing a concurrent landing and takeoff. We might want to hold for him.
We have and right is clear as well, thanks. We might have to give United a little bit of time. It's a 777. We probably don't want to end up in his wake anyways.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. And as soon as the flight controls are done, this is the moment for taxi flow.
Okay.
And this is done mostly by you. So what you will have to do now is you'll have to turn on the auto brake to max.
Okay.
Turn on the weather radar and PWS. And then you have to press the takeoff config button. It's so
I see it.
this button is great.
San Francisco traffic, United
And last
917
step
heavy taking off, 28 left, gunner 3 departure.
is to call the cabin crew, make sure that they are all ready for departure.
Okay, that is done and performed.
Okay, so taxi checklist.
Okay, flight controls.
Checked.
Check left. Briefing.
Completed.
Yep, I have no questions. Aircraft. It says aircraft version. It's A321.
Yes, you can skip that item. It's
Yeah.
removed from the checklists now.
Okay, ECAM memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Taxi checklist complete.
Okay, I just broke the aircraft a little bit. I'll just share some tip about that because not many people actually maybe okay, disregard it, but I will share it anyways. So aircrafts like A321, 777, 787, they're a little bit different when braking and taxiing to, you know, smaller airplanes. They have carbon brakes, not steel ones.
Okay.
And in the steel braking system, you want to tap it quite a lot. You want to apply a lot of applications and just keep tapping on the brakes essentially. With carbon brakes, you really want to avoid that. They degrade very quickly with number of applications. So the brakes don't care how hard I press on them, but they care how many times I do it. So ideally you want to let the aircraft roll to 30 knots and then you want to press on the brakes and get it to 10. Repeat the process.
Gotcha. Okay.
By the way, this aircraft taxis a lot better than ToLissA321 Neo. It's more realistic with the IE engines. It
Yeah, I can see
accelerates
that.
quite
Yeah.
nicely.
I like it.
We don't have
You've
to
been
give
at idle the
any
whole
thrust.
time, right?
Yeah, yeah. And we're loaded. We have over 200 passengers, I think, or close to.
Alright. I do see the United A320 on final out there.
San Francisco traffic, United 917 heavy, departed to your left on the current 3.
I'll make an announcement here. San Francisco
We are not
traffic.
going to line up just yet.
Okay. San Francisco traffic, American 76 holding short 28 left for landing traffic on 28 right.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't tell you. Yeah, I don't want to line up just yet because I'm, you know, new to the area, and you've mentioned that we might want to wait for the guys in final.
Yeah.
I forgot to turn off the strobe lights. So, do you think we should wait, or are we good to go?
We can
for
wait.
that
Let's
guy?
just wait. Just for his warm and fuzzy so he feels good about us not getting in its way or anything.
Okay, perfect.
Once he lands, we can go position and hold, or what do you call it? Line up and wait. And he
Yeah.
should give way. He should give way to us departing. He won't. He should not cross.
Okay, so we'll line up and we'll see what he does. If he keeps rolling, we might just let him go.
Okay. Let me know when you're
And
ready
if
to
he-
take the runway, and I'll make an announcement.
Okay. You mentioned after he lands, right? This
Yeah.
is the one on final right now?
Correct.
That's also an Airbus.
Mm-hmm.
A proper aircraft, not some tractor.
Oh, dude. Don't say that about my 737, man. Come on.
It is a tractor. I never said tractors are awful. I just said it's a tractor, but you can like a tractor if you want.
I love tractors. Thank you.
You're welcome. I like my Skoda Octavia, and Airbus is like a Skoda Octavia, and Boeing is like a tractor.
Yeah.
Looks pretty hazy, doesn't it?
It does. That's pretty typical for San Francisco.
That's a bit of a shame because we could do a visual departure, but...
Alaska 1169 taxi runway 28 left via Bravo Foxtrot. We'll cross runway 1 left, 1 right on Foxtrot.
Alright, we can go ahead and get
So,
on the runway now.
Okay, thanks. Parking brake released. And just so you know, so typically lights on the ground is pilot flying, and in the air it's you.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
after we retract the flaps, you'll have to disarm the ground spoilers, and you can then turn off all the lights.
Gotcha.
43 has landed on runway 28
We can turn off the landing lights as well, even though we're below. You know, typically people do it at 10,000 feet, but during daylight we don't have to keep them out.
Okay, let me make a call. San Francisco traffic, American 76 feet, line up and wait, 28 left.
So since we're not doing a rolling takeoff, I'll do a 90 degrees lineup. I hope that's gonna go nicely. It's pretty hard in the simulator, I think, but I'll give it my best. We'll see how that goes. I'll just ask you to monitor our speed now and let me know how the speed is every now and then, because I cannot look at the displays.
You got 7 knots ground speed right now.
Okay.
And United 1743 has now exited runway at 28 right.
4 knots.
Thank you.
United 1743 is going to hold 28 left for departing
Okay,
traffic.
we're gonna correct it because we have plenty of stop margins, but you don't really have to do that.
Okay.
You can just correct it on the rollout, and here is good. We are 2-3 meters off the center line, but that's not a problem. He made a call. Did he say if he's
Yes,
gonna hold?
he's gonna hold short. He's gonna hold short.
Okay, so we can announce that we're gonna be departing then.
Okay. San Francisco traffic, American 76-3 departing runway 28 left, Seagull 1 departure.
And quickly, let's run the lineup checklist, please.
Okay. Lineup checklist. Ooh, I don't think I have one of those on here.
Okay, then disregard it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Takeoff. We're gonna do a little bit of a rolling. I'm not gonna use the brakes because we have a long runway.
Okay.
Manual flex 62 SRS auto thrust blue and runway now.
Okay. Under knots.
Checked.
B1. Rotate. Positive rate.
You're up.
You're up.
Enough.
San Francisco traffic, United 1743 is crossing runway 28 left.
San Francisco traffic, American 763 clear 28 left.
Thrust, climb, auto thrust.
Okay.
San Francisco traffic, United 1743 crossing 28 left, taxiing to terminal via Alpha. San Francisco
Full
traffic.
heading.
You said pull heading?
Yeah.
You want me to do that, right?
Yeah, I want you to do it because I'm hand flying. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Open climb heading and set heading 150.
Hey, 150.
And we can announce that we're turning on heading 150 after departure if you want to be super nice.
Okay. San Francisco traffic, American 76 turning left 150.
San Francisco traffic and 1743 has crossed runway 28 left.
2000.
Alright.
Flap 0.
Hey, flap 0.
2000.
AP2. I need to take a look at our flight plan. Set direct Seagull.
Hey, direct Seagull. Direct Seagull.
And Seagull nav.
Okay. And then I would,
Thank you.
I'd push. Do I need to put? Oh, you did that, right?
So yeah, everything is done now. I just turned on the automation so I can touch the FCU, but below 10,000 feet I cannot touch the box.
Okay.
So that's why I needed your help.
Oh, sure.
And now we can disarm the ground spoilers. That's you.
Yep.
And we can turn off all the lights other than the strobe and nav light, of course.
Got it. On it.
So basically, yeah, everything on the lower.
Okay, lights are good.
One more click on the taxi lights, please.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you. The reason we do it is because, well, the landing lights, they stick out of the wing and they generate a lot of noise and a little bit of drag unnecessarily. It's kind of like on the MD-80.
Uh-huh.
It's the same concept, only the newest Airbuses have them integrated into the belly. Man, that climb performance is awful.
It's not good?
Yeah, I mean, you tell me, you fly a lot of Boeings, but I think it's not that good.
Yeah, it's okay.
And the Airbus in general.
MD-11 is a lot faster than this.
Yeah, I flew that one a couple of times as well. It's a powerful one. How much do you have usually at 250?
Oh, geez. At climb thrust, we'd be doing up to 3,000 to 4,000 feet a minute.
Yeah, so 1,000 feet higher at least.
Yeah. At the typical weights that I fly it at. I mean, at max takeoff weight, it's pretty sluggish, but the way it's loaded for domestic cargo operations, it's pretty sporty.
Cześć Foshay, hello. Welcome to the stream. Today we're doing a shared cockpit flight, so there's two of us. Let me know if you've hear our pilot monitoring well. I'm pilot flying, and Sean is monitoring me, making sure that I don't crash the airplane or something.
I doubt you will.
You never know. We can turn the seatbelts off. I don't think we can expect any turbulence.
A little hazy out here today, huh?
Very. I was just about to say that, honestly. I can barely see the ground features. I have to, use the full zoom to the left. You hear him well? That's great. Good, good. Because it took a lot of tweaking on the audio to make this work. Okay, so at flight level 100, we usually... 10,000 feet. We would usually go on our EPIS panel from constraints to airports. I'm gonna keep constraints on my side because we have this 16,000 or higher over Seagull, so I'll have to keep that. And what we usually do as well, that's pilot monitoring, we'll open the progress page.
Okay.
And we check what's our optimum cruise level for today. So right now we have 349er. That's perfectly fine. It's good to climb slightly above it even.
Sure.
So we can keep 350. And the last thing that pilot monitoring would do is go to secondary flight plan.
Okay.
And to just copy active. And that's gonna make a copy of what we have right now.
Okay.
Because we have this engine out routing and sometimes we would use the secondary flight plan later on. If so, we're flying to San Diego. It's pretty easy. But if we were flying to KLX, we would set it up, for example, for another runway than what we have in the primary flight plan, in case there is a runway change or something.
Sure.
To be prepared for that as well.
That makes sense.
And we have 35,000 feet blue. Yeah, so we are sharing the cockpit together. It is possible to do this on both simulators. If you'd like to do it on Microsoft Flight Simulator, you'll need a plugin called Share Your Controls. It generally works nicely, at least with Airbus airplanes. Sometimes there are minor issues, but you can complete the flight, generally speaking. And for X-Plane, right now we are using... Sean, what is it called?
It's called Shared Flight.
Shared Flight. And this one works quite nicely as well. I would say it works slightly better. I don't think we had any significant issues so far.
I think it's working really good. For any little minor desyncs, that they're just kind of superficial and they're not causing any issues.
Yeah, they are not game breaking. And with your controls, a couple of times with my friends, we had a problem where we literally had to finish our flight separately because the plugin will just die. But most recently it worked fine. I just have to be careful not to simulate any emergencies, at least in Microsoft Flight Simulator, because that's gonna kill your synchronization. But go for it. If you have a friend that can fly with you, go for it, because I think it's a little bit of a game changer. Okay, it's a bit early, but to get it out of the way, we can set standard. I don't expect level offs.
Okay. Standard set.
And also on the standby instruments, that's gonna be you. Since you're the captain, technically.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you remember what we say when we do that?
Oh, remind me.
Standard cross-checked, passing level 176. No.
176.
And ready RVSM?
Ready.
RVSM check, passing level 180 now.
180.
Okay, and now I'll add something extra. We also have to check the standby. So the way it's done is, it's actually the same. You just now will have to look at the standby altitude tape rather than your PFD.
I'm looking at it now.
So check standby altimeter, passing level 187 now.
Checked.
Okay. With that done, we are pretty much set with everything. After departure, we just wait to reach the cruising altitude and, you know, discuss our ex-wives or whatever pilots discuss.
Sure.
Cruise.
So I'm looking at VATSIM radar, and it looks like we lost center, but we still have SoCal approach. We will be talking to them. We'll probably get handed off to a couple different controllers. We got SoCal approach, and we got San Diego approach, and it looks like we also have ground, tower, and ATIS at San Diego. So whenever you want,
okay.
I can get the ATIS at San Diego whenever you're ready for it.
Yeah, let's get the 80s. You can try the digital 80s.
Yeah, I can. If you want, I can put it on COM 1 real quick. And
I personally prefer the printed one, because then we can just put it in the cockpit and we have it in you know, written down as well.
How do you do that?
So you'll have to go to MCDU menu.
Okay. MCDU menu.
ATSU.
Okay.
AOC.
Oh, I've never done this before.
And destination 80s.
It says not allowed.
And now you're gonna have to press it's not allowed. Okay, let me try.
Okay.
I received it. Go to received messages. We're flying to San Diego from San Francisco. Do you have anything there?
No, nothing.
Nothing. So I'll have it written, but you'll still have to copy it via voice in that case.
Okay.
Unless you have a piece of paper and underneath the switching panel now. If you don't, then we need it via voice.
I don't have any of that.
Yeah, so let's check out the 80s via voice.
Okay, I'll grab it. Let's see. 134.8.
I have it written down, so
afternoon,
what we can do, I will just
3030.
put that in the box, and then you can cross-check it after you type down the ETs via voice. How does that sound?
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna tune it in.
Go
Oh,
for it.
You know what? I think we might be out of range.
Okay, by the way, do it on VHF2, and keep VHF1 for your comms.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so usually, in real life, anything secondary goes into VHF2, and we keep the comms always on VHF1.
I normally do that too. I don't know why I did.
And you're now on VHF2 as well. That's why you have the cell light.
Okay, I'm not used to this. This radio stack is different than what I'm familiar with here. So, how do I do this on VHF2 like I would normally do it?
So, okay, let's press VHF1 on your side right now.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, that's good. And on VHF2, you can pre-select the ATIS either from my side
Okay.
or what? Yeah, so it should be done this way, because if you do it the other way, it's very easy to lose comms. If you're not careful about this, you're gonna lose comms, and you might not even notice that. We had a couple of cases in real life, not me personally, but some operators where they lost communications in airspace like London because they were trying to, you know, tangle the VHF1 and 2, and they just didn't realize that they lost the frequency because of that. So, you know, losing comms in London airspace, that's kind of a big deal.
Right. Alright, do I have it set correctly now? So whenever we're in range, we should pick it up on 2, right?
So what is the frequency for the
134.8.
Yeah, that's good. So as soon as we're in range, we're gonna have that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
We'll just start hearing it when it comes in.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly take a look at what can we expect in San Diego. So in the 80s, because for me the digital 80s worked, nothing special. And like we discussed on the ground, they mentioned that we should expect localizer or RNP Zulu approach runway 27 or visual approach.
Okay.
How do you guys usually do visual approaches in the US? Is it like
So
a proper
you
visual
you can fly it just like an RNAV. You just kind of get you get the option, right? You can cut in earlier. You can descend at your discretion, or if you want to just fly it like an RNAV, you can do that.
Okay. So what I will prepare the box for will be the so we'll keep the RNAV, but I'm gonna make some changes to it.
Okay.
So we are ready to take a 5-mile visual approach as well.
Okay. And oftentimes the controllers will give you your preference. If you can ask them if you just want to fly the RNAV, they'll set you up for that.
I would prefer a visual.
Okay.
If you're okay with that.
Okay. Sure.
That's more fun, you know?
Sure.
So oh my god, these waypoints. Tokoe. How do you pronounce that waypoint? It's on the 5 miles final.
Let me pull up the the RNAV Zulu, right? Zulu or Yankee?
Yeah. Zulu.
Okay. All right, let me look here. Toko.
Toko. Man. Toko. I'm really glad you're the one on comms this flight, honestly.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you covered.
So I would like to keep my side normal. So if you could just set your ND to plan for a second.
Sure.
And if maybe let's reduce the range to like 20 miles.
Done.
And now a cool Airbus trick. You don't have to scroll the whole flight plan. Just press the airports on the keyboard there.
What do you mean?
So MCDU keyboard.
Oh, okay. Airports.
If you press airports, airport, it's gonna jump to.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
cool. I like that.
Yeah, wait, I didn't set it up correctly. So 005. So what I've put in right now for us, it's like an artificial base leg for 5 mile final. Toko, is that how you say it? Toko?
Yeah, Toko.
Yeah, so Toko is 5.1 miles final from the runway threshold, so that's kind of perfect for our base. So later on, if we can, we might just request a visual with 5 mile final, and we're gonna fly something like this. That would be a pretty big shortcut for us and a little bit of fun, I think.
Okay.
And 5 mile visual, it gives you plenty of time to, you know, stabilize the aircraft, configure it, and do everything you have to do. The only real challenge here mostly comes from the energy management, because if you're flying this whole approach, you don't have to rush flaps or gear at all. But if we're gonna do a 5 mile visual, we probably want it to be turning final with flaps 2 gear down already, and be ready to go flaps 3 and full on the turn. So it's a bit more challenging, and you have to control your descent a little bit better. So when you're a beam Toko, you're not, you know, 4,000 feet or 5,000 feet with 210 knots, because that's not gonna work.
Okay.
But we'll see what the controller lets us do, and then we'll decide. Could you turn on the constraints on your side as well?
Sure, you
for
got
a second? So we have 6,210. Well, if we want to do this visual approach, that's not gonna work, right? So
Right.
hopefully he will let us descend below that. But if he doesn't, then we're just gonna fly something else.
Okay.
How long is that base leg? Yeah, it's a 5 mile base. By the way, if somebody is curious how to manage their energy in a situation like this, Airbus A320 will lose typically about 1,000 feet in 3 miles. So, you know, if we have 5 miles base leg, we're gonna lose roughly 1,800 feet-ish. So if we're at 6,000, we're not gonna make it, obviously. We're not gonna even reach 4,000 by the end of that base leg. So yeah, we'll see. And for the speed, if you fly the aircraft level, you can reduce the speed by 10 knots in 1 mile. Those are like key values for the airplane. And we have roughly 180 miles until top of descent. Plenty of time.
Yep.
It's done.
This thing climbs slow,
Let me
man.
see. Yeah, it does. Especially with these engines. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think they're less powerful than the other ones. You know, the CFM. The CFM is the same engine you have on the 737, as far as I know.
Yep, and it's also the same engines that I have on the aircraft that I work on.
Oh, you mean MD-11?
No, I'm in the Air Force, so I work on KC-135s. We have a CFM 56-2, which is like one of the earliest models of that engine.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That you work on the airplanes. That's
Yeah,
really cool. Wait, KC-130, is that like
KC-135
tankering
is
airplane?
That is correct. Yeah. In fact, I just had a bunch of guys in Poland a few weeks ago on an exercise.
Oh, small world.
They brought me back some Polish vodka, 2 different kinds.
Do you remember the names by any
Yes,
chance?
one of them is called Exquisite,
Okay.
and the other one is I can't pronounce it, but it says bison grass, and it's like it has like a yellow tint to it.
Żebrówka.
Yes, that's it.
Żebrówka.
That's the one.
I cannot drink that one because during my youth I had a little bit too much of that one during a New Year's Eve party, and it has a very specific flavor to it.
I was
And,
was told that it is mixed best with apple flavors.
That might be true, but we typically don't mix vodka in Poland. Well, usually girls do it, but even
Oh man! Ouch!
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it's a traditional drink for us, you know, and I remember that New Year's Eve that was pretty tough, man. It was many years ago, and that vodka has a very specific flavor to it, And when I was, giving it all back to the toilet basin, I just remembered that flavor for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So if you put me next to that bottle, if I smell it, I immediately have the instinct to just go to the toilet,
When I was 17, I got really drunk on tequila, and to this day, I just can't drink it.
I think this kind of a thing traumatizes you somehow.
It does. Your body just associates being very sick with that flavor and that smell.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame because that bison grass thing is not too bad. It's one of the better ones from them.
Yeah, I
Wait, you said free, what, right? They brought you free flavors?
Just two. Exquisite and
two.
and the bison grass.
Jose, do you know this exquisite vodka? Because it's the first time I'm hearing that.
It's a clear bottle. I mean, I don't know what else to... I can show you a picture of it later.
I think I'll Google it in a moment.
Hey,
once I'm done with something, because I'm
just
curious.
just so you know, I'm looking at VATSIM radar, and it's saying that we don't have a flight plan uploaded.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, you know what? Once... Let me just see if the call sign is correct.
Call sign is American Airlines 1763.
Yeah.
But we may want to
Okay,
we'll want to fix that before we get into ATC, or they're going to get mad.
I will just file it from the air.
Okay. Oh, guess what?
Nah, I just refiled it. So
I
the
got it.
aircraft should be gone, and now it should be back.
We're good. We got it. It's up there now.
Okay. Oopsie.
We're going to be flying directly over LAX. It looks like that'll be fun.
Is that how these flights usually go? Because I just selected a random route from
Yeah.
debrief. I didn't give it much thought.
Debrief typically tries to match them to real-world flights, so that's not unheard of to do this.
Ah, Wyborowa. He got Wyborowa, guys. That's what he got. Yeah, okay, I know that one. So the bison grass is slightly better.
Yeah. It has a piece of grass inside the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, if it has a piece of grass, it has to be better.
That's what makes it better, man.
Yeah. What
Alright.
is the most typical Polish vodka you'll get for somebody, Bosze, if you wanted to give them a gift?
Mm-hmm.
Altkrus, iPhone. It's a question from my chat because one of my chatters is Polish, and I'm just wondering
Whiskey 195
what is the most typical choice.
West 260 at 5. Visibility 10.
Bocian?
2,500 scanners.
Chopin. Yeah, Chopin is
Temperature 20. 2.12.
good idea.
Altimeter 3002. Localizer. Area navigation tool approach is in use. Landing and departing runway 27. Notification ASX system in use. Activate transponder with mode taxiways and runways. Read and call runway hold short instructions. Advise on an issue. You have information whiskey.
Whiskey. Let me get it one more time. Racial whiskey.
Iceberg Field HS information whiskey 1951 Zulu. West 260 at 5. Ability 10. 2,500 scanners.
Oh.
Temperature 20.
Okay. I got it.
Altimeter 3002.
Anything interesting?
Localizer. Area.
We got scattered clouds at 2,500, but I don't think it's an issue. Wind is 2605, so almost right down the runway, right straight off the nose. Temperature's 20, altimeter's 3002, localizer RNAV and visual approaches for 27 are in use.
Okay, yeah, the scatter cloud's not really a problem, but it kind of depends how they, how they distribute themselves, if you will. Because if they block the visual of the runway, then we can't really say a visual request visual approach,
Okay.
Because the moment we request a visual approach on the base turn, we have to be visual with the runway. And if clouds block that out, then we can't really do it.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We have the RNAV set up, so if it is if it comes to that, we're gonna fly an RNF approach.
Right. We can
Have
always
you had
just
the
ask for it too. Like if you want to just give them the, if you just oftentimes they'll give you an approach request, and you just tell them you want to fly the RNAV, and you can do that.
Well, if I had a choice, I would fly this visual. I just don't know how it's gonna work out with the clouds, especially with this restriction over the base there, because that's the biggest problem. This 6,000 feet, you know, we have to be pretty high there. Even if he lets us go down to like 4,000, we're still above the cloud base. So that's the biggest concern for the visual, but we'll see.
Okay.
Initially, we want the visual, but if it is what it is, then we're gonna fly RNF.
Sounds good. All right. Distance to go. Top of descent's 136 miles, 2114. So we got about, I don't know, what, 18 minutes before we head down?
Yeah, and the box is already prepared, so we have time.
Okay.
Also, for the European viewers in our system, this is the RNAV approach. It's the RNP. Right? If you guys get confused about that, we just usually refer to it as RNP. Have you had an opportunity to pilot a Boeing or just an Airbus? You mean a real Boeing or in the sim? In the sim, I fly lots of 777, or at least I used to. In real life, I've never flew a Boeing. I try to stay away from... I never flew a Boeing in real life. I try to stay away from tractors.
Oh, tractors. All right, so I got some questions. No, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a guy in my chat. He's asking how long we're going to keep the KC-135s around. I jokingly said forever, but the honest question is it's going to be a while because the Air Force is trying to get the KC-46, which they're in production, but there's a lot of problems with them. A lot of teething problems. There's production issues. There's a lot of systems that aren't working correctly, so we should have been phasing out the 135s a lot sooner, but the replacement is just not doing well. So the honest answer is the 135s will be around for a long time. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, Casper, but the KC-135s were built in the 1950s. The aircraft that I work on are built in the 1950s. So they've been around for a really long time, and they're going to be around for a long time to come because the KC-46, which is a 767 variant, is just not performing as it's supposed to right now.
The KC-135, it's basically... redesigned 707 by the looks of it.
Well, actually, if you think about it, the KC-135 it came first, and the 707 is a variation of the KC-135. They're different aircraft. They look similar, but they have different wings, different fuselage diameters. There's a lot of differences with them, but they're similar.
I see. Yeah, okay. I thought KC-135 was the 767 one, but now I get it. Okay, so this one is the 4-engine, and KC-45 is the
KC-46.
767. 46, sorry.
Yeah, so the KC-45 would have been an A330 MRTT, which is the multi-role refueling tanker transport. That was the initial aircraft the Air Force got, but Boeing made a big old stink about it, and they had to redo the contract, and then Boeing got it for the KC-46, which is a 767 variant.
Okay, I see.
All right, aircraft on TCAS, 1,000 feet above on the left. It looks like it's Atlas 777 freighter. You can kind of see it off to the left.
If it's 1,000 feet, you don't have to.
Oh, I know. I just like to mention it because it's nice to run into other traffic out here on VATSIM. I know with our VISM, we have no conflict. I just like to call it out for fun.
Okay. Sure.
That's a 777 freighter over there. I'm looking forward to getting one of those in X-Plane 12.
They are working on it already. Today in my Discord, somebody shared a sneak peek from Flight Factor.
Oh, they need to put it on my Discord. Did Flight Factor make an announcement about it?
No, it's just a tease.
Well, how did they get that information?
From their Instagram.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like a black and white picture?
Yeah, that's
I see it. Yeah. That's cool. The 777F has got this very large supernumerary area behind the cockpit, so they can bring a lot of people along with it. So that's what it looks like. It's looking forward from there.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that add-on myself because I don't want to fly the passengers.
Nor do I.
And
Because
yeah, it's
my virtual airline is UPS Virtual Air Cargo, so I don't fly packs very often. I would need a freighter. I don't need a 777 passenger plane. I don't do that.
For sure about the Thrustmaster. It's generally a problematic piece of equipment. Since you already have it, it's the milk is spilled. I have it myself, but once it breaks down in some time, I would recommend something else, maybe wing. I have it myself and I suffer with it. It's okay for the Airbus, but if you want to fly the Airbus with manual thrust, it's unbearable with that thrust, how do you call it, quadrant or whatever. It's quite bad.
So
sorry, just had a question about that
sure.
for a while.
Question for you: what kind of reserve fuel do you guys like to land with? Ideally, when you touch down at an airport, how much fuel do you want in the tanks for a normal flight?
We don't really. So during typical line operations, anything above minimum diversion fuel is fine. So from our OFP, alternate plus thinners. Thinners usually 30 minutes, and alternate fuel, whatever they've calculated, because that's a legal requirement to land with that at least.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the times we're gonna land with slightly more, but nobody really pays attention to that. The only time it becomes a factor is if you have to make a go around or something. It happens. For example, I don't know, the sequencing was too tight or something like that, then it becomes a factor and you kind of start stressing about it and calculating. But most of the times, even if you take minimum block fuel, you're gonna land with more than the original estimation because of ATC shortcuts or your own efficiency, which happens as well.
Okay.
Especially if you fly in Europe, you have a lot of these I would say step climb SIDs for airspace restrictions. Quite often you can get ahead of that and you can get an earlier clearance, and that's gonna save a lot of fuel, for example. So we typically will land with a lot more than the minimum diversion, but we don't really pay attention.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter as long as we're legal, basically.
Got it.
I've only had a situation once when I really stressed about it, and it was a pretty challenging day because we were flying into Barcelona. It's a pretty big airport in Europe, and we had to go around because of a separation issue. The sequencing was just unrealistic, and after the missed approach, the departure controller didn't do such a great job of resequencing us in, and they kept us flying on the runway heading for a while. And that was the only time in my life when I landed and I was like, shoo man, 5 more minutes and that would be a diversion for fuel, which is kind of a silly thing to happen,
Right.
Because this is also, by the way, one of the tricky questions for pilot interviews. The initial interview or command course, where you get to your destination, but to land you have to enter the alternate fuel, which you're not supposed to do, but the weather is good, so what do you do? Do you divert? Do you land? And there is no right answer to that question, and it all depends. But whenever you see that you're gonna be on that minimum diversion fuel, you kind of start stressing.
I think they're probably trying to gauge how confidently you can defend whatever answer you give them.
Yeah, I guess so, because sometimes there is no reason really to divert. It doesn't make sense if you're flying to Barcelona and let's say your alternate airport is Girona, and your legal minimum diversion fuel, like I've told you before, it's calculated with an SID with a star. Realistically, if you get to that minimum fuel situation, you can just call, hey, request direct destination, and they're gonna give it to you. Most of the times, and even if it's not direct destination, it's gonna be a significant shortcut and you're gonna land with more than final reserve fuel. So this would be my answer. If it's a good clear day and there's no issues, it was just a singular situation with sequencing, then I would still land, but you do become kind of stressed in that kind of a situation.
Okay.
Fortunately, it doesn't happen often because usually I arrive extra, but in this story, in this specific case, we took extra fuel. We during a crew briefing, we decided that things happen at busy airports, and let's take an extra ton of fuel. So 2,000 pounds, over 2,000 pounds, and we still reached the minimum fuel situation.
So looks like we're 63 miles from top of descent.
Yeah,
about 8 minutes out. Do you wanna brief the arrival or anything, or we still got time?
Yeah, so you can brief the charts themselves. What
Sure.
we have in the box for the star and approach, and then I'll brief how we're gonna fly it. You can also brief MSA, extra fuel, and so on.
Okay. Let me bring up the arrival here. It's the COMEX 2 RNAV arrival, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you do it or do I do it? How's this work?
So you brief what is in the box. So you brief the star, what kind of a star we expect, if there is anything special about it, as well as the approach, and then I'll brief you on how am I gonna fly.
Okay, so it looks like we have the COMEX 2 RNAV arrival in the box. We're gonna pick that up around LAX. We'll fly directly overhead that. Couple altitude restrictions or corridors, if you will, but nothing looks out of the ordinary. And it basically turns into an extended right downwind for 27 once you make that left turn at X-band. And at this time, we have the RNAV Zulu runway 27 entered into the FMS, but you're hoping to possibly get a visual approach in there. So as far as
Yep.
Yep. Let me see what.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and then looks like we got that extra 1,000 pounds of fuel in there, plus route reserve of 1.7.
Sorry, was there a question?
No question.
Okay. So now how am I gonna fly it? We're gonna fly it, of course, sticking to the constraints, but we're gonna try to meet the lower ends of them. Because
Okay.
if we do manage to get in for that visual, the biggest issue I see is the excess energy with the aircraft. So I want to burn as much of that energy as possible. Actually, speaking of that, let me just quickly reset up the box a little bit. So right now, the FMGC, whenever it has these windows, for example, over Leiden, flight level 1900 to 15,000 feet, it's gonna calculate the most optimum altitude over that point. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna force the FMGC to overfly these points exactly at the lower windows, because I want the aircraft to have less energy, basically. And then COMEX was 2,000 feet. This is what we're gonna give it.
I'm following along with the on the chart.
Okay, so there we go. That's gonna reduce our energy a little bit there.
Hey, and you may want to put in at Lantern. You may want to put in 9,000 because you need to be at or above 9,000 there. So I would just put it right on 9,000.
Yeah, and those as well, exactly. So 9,000 exactly. And again, this is still not enough, but at least this way we make sure that we have as little energy as possible, and stay legal within the limitations of the chart. I'm not sure how this visual approach is supposed to work there, but we'll see. Like we discussed earlier, we're gonna mention to the controller that we're interested in it, but we have to see how is the energy of the aircraft, because
Sure.
if he clears us for a visual, but we have to stick to these constraints, then I don't see a point in doing that. And in that case, we're gonna fly an RNF approach, and we're gonna use fantastic Airbus automation for this and FMGC mode. So we're gonna fly it in final up, which is basically gonna guide us nicely with flight directors all the way down to the missed approach point over the runway. For the automation, I'm gonna keep the auto thrust on because my thrust levers are not good enough to fly with manual thrust, but of course no autopilot. As soon as we are stabilized, I'm gonna disconnect it.
Okay.
So just like on the previous flight, pilot flying is calling the configuration, so whatever I need, flaps 1, flaps 2, and then you just check the speed. If I'm not gonna overspeed the aircraft that way, You say speed checked, and you select the system, and then you tell me flaps 1 or flaps 2.
Okay.
That's how it goes. What else should we mention here? Maybe the misapproach as well. It's good to have that in mind always. So let's take RNP Zulu. So in case of a missed approach, climb 2,500 on track 275, pretty straightforward. I would say nothing special. Any threats from your side?
No threats, but like you mentioned, well, typically been in my experience, if you let them know you want a visual approach, the ATC will clear you down below what's published on the arrivals, so you and the approaches, so you can get there. They obviously know that if you're trying to do a visual approach into San Diego, if you cross Toko at 6,000 or whatever that it was that we were talking about, there's no way you're going to make that, right? So if you let them know in as much advance as possible, yeah, it was like Clom or X-Men's. If you let them know in advance you want a visual, I'm pretty sure they're going to give you lower, so you can set up for that.
Okay, one more thing. I forgot about this. This is quite important for visual. In case we do a visual, and initially I will keep the automation on, so I might do it, but in case I don't, I might give you a very specific call, which is autopilot off, flight directors off. When I say that, I turn off my flight director and you turn your flight director off as well.
Okay.
I do mine, you do yours. And then the last item is bird on, set runway track. So you need to check the runway track, and the bird on refers to, if you look at the FCU,
yep,
right above the AP2 right now, there is this circular button, heading track, VSFPA. This is what you have to press. What this does, we can even press it now, it changes the reference from regular flight directors to so-called bird flight vector.
Okay.
And that's what we use for the visual approaches.
Okay. And that'll be 275 is the runway track.
Okay. We're gonna descend 15,000 because that's the first restriction on this arrival. So we have descent alt blue, flight level 150 blue.
Okay, check.
How much is left to descend? I guess that's answered.
Now, let's send it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, you said alt blue, so I actually had to look and make sure why, because you got me all tuned in for that. It wasn't magenta.
Yeah, now it's gonna be magenta.
Oh.
Yeah, that's because I've set it up exactly on the spot, and I've set the first one. But if you go ahead and you set something lower, like you usually do, 10,000 feet, then we will have alt magenta and flight level 150 magenta.
Right.
In my airline, we have a policy of setting the first restriction always, because there is a Airbus recommendation that when you're climbing or descending, your rate should not exceed whatever the difference you have from your present altitude to your target. So right now it's not a problem, but once we are at flight level, let's say 180, I would have to start reducing the rate somehow. However I do it is fine. But most pilots will do it with vertical speed, so I'll show you that now.
Okay.
If you look now on our PFD,
yep,
we have everything in magenta.
Yep.
And if I now had to imagine we are now at level 180, right? And I want to respect this recommendation, so I set VS 1500. Look what happens. The target changed from flight level 150 to 140. The aircraft would not respect the constraint anymore. Yeah, so for that reason, we have this recommendation now these days to avoid a potential level bust.
Hey, look straight down. Look at all the traffic at LAX right now. You see him?
Let me take a look.
You see the yellow? On the way I have my X-Pilot set up, I can see the call signs. There's there's a lot of aircraft down there.
Yeah, I do fly for an airline, but I usually don't say which one exactly.
That's a good policy. You won't get yourself in trouble.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I share anything that could get me in trouble, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, you're not briefing any like airline specific SOPs, or you're not giving us your airline checklist or anything. You're just giving general Airbus stuff, which is more or less public knowledge.
Today on X-Plane, sometimes on Microsoft Flight Sim. But last couple of days I had lots of technical issues, so I cannot stream it and I have to fix it somehow. Depends what I want to fly. If I fly the Airbus, I fly it on X-Plane. And if I fly Boeings, I fly them on the SFO-SAN. And thanks for the follow, man. Welcome.
Okay, looking good.
And another thing with this whole airline thing is that you can these days you can find, you know, FCOM for Airbus A320 online. You know, they say it's a restricted non-public document, but I just found one online. In all fairness, from 2018, so outdated in some areas, but nonetheless.
If it's on there, it's public enough, and it's dated, so like, it's fine.
Yeah, but I plan to start making some Airbus, you know, tutorials and guides, and I'm just gonna use that FCOM instead. And if anybody ever comes to me and says, "Hey, man, you're not really supposed to do that," I will just say, "It's not my FCOM. I found it online."
There you go. And you can even reference that in a video. Hey, I'm referencing my information from this outdated FCOM. So that keeps you from getting in trouble.
Because realistically, even if you use a 6-7 years old FCOM, it's most of it is still relevant, and the items that are not super critical. So I think it's a pretty safe way to do it and to share lots of valuable knowledge still. Are you monitoring VATSIM radar and when we have to check in with the controller? Because I forgot to do that. Okay,
typically,
super.
SoCal approach, you're going to talk to them around 1-4000, but we're still really high and above his window right now.
Okay.
Also in the United States, I don't know how they do it in Europe. They'll typically reach out to you, but you may have to because you may get the ping on it.
Yeah, if in case I get the message, I'll let you know straight away, just so you can contact him.
Right. I'm already got SoCal approach on standby.
You know what? I think we might as well just put him on and just not check in until we enter.
Okay, it's going to be very, very busy though, just so you know, because there's a lot of people on frequency.
That's okay.
All right.
I'm suggesting that because it's good for our situational awareness, so we know what's happening.
Okay.
805 Whiskey Golf, descend and maintain 7,000.
Descend and maintain 7,000 for 805 Whiskey Golf.
And for you guys in the chat, in case audio levels are all over the place, I'm sorry, and let me know. But you know, we have explained myself, our pilot monitoring, since there's 2 of us today, and also VATSIM, so it's kind of hard to set it all up with some, you know, decent levels so you can hear everyone clearly. Man, I really like this kind of a procedure design with all these restrictions.
You do or you do not?
I do, because I don't have to use my brain.
Oh yeah, it gives you windows to fly through, really. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, flying in the United States is premium flying in all over the world. Everybody wishes they could be here.
Yeah, let's agree to disagree with that.
Okay.
It's a nice, it's like going on a holiday, you know. It's nice to go every now and then, but you don't want to be there.
I'm gonna be in the UK here in the next few weeks. Me and my family are headed to London on the 14th of June, and then we're gonna also go to Paris for a couple days while we're out there.
Paris nice, London. I mean, all of it is nice. It depends where you go exactly.
I like London. I've been there before. I actually enjoy. I actually like being there. So I like all of Europe.
Yeah, Europe is great. I know.
Okay. Got some. Finally, can see the ground here pretty clearly. You can see the Southern California coastline there. This is my area, man. I live in this, not too far from here.
So south of LA, basically.
Yep. I live a little bit inland, but I come out to where we're at right now. This is like the beaches that I like to go to right out here to your left.
Man, it looks pretty great with these autos, I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
This sim has came pretty far since X-Plane 11.
It finally is at the point where the graphics are catching up enough that the flight model is not the only selling point.
I would say the biggest graphical advancement though is just how crisp it is. I really like it. I mean, Microsoft looks phenomenal as well. I like both of the sims. I'm not crazy about either one of them to the point that I wouldn't use the other. But Microsoft has this thing, I don't know if you guys in the chat also feel this way, but has this kind of glow to it, which I don't know, it just feels
Good afternoon, SoCal approach American 3076, flight level 188 descending via the Sabono 1 arrival into Palm Springs.
Do you want me to put in the
SoCal approach, good afternoon, Palm Springs altimeter 2982.
do you want me to put in the minimums for this runway? 624?
We don't have them. If we don't have them, then yes, please.
Okay, got it.
Oh, we don't have them. Thanks.
I got you, man. Yeah, so it looks like RMP 0.11, which I'm pretty sure we've got. The decision altitude is going to be 624 on the RNAV. I think we can keep that for your visual, right?
Yeah, if in case it's visual, we just ignore it. But let's keep it because we might not fly it, so we don't have to make any changes. And let's set the altimeter to the local.
805 Whiskey Golf,
That's
turn 10 degrees
3002.
left, descend and maintain 4,000.
10 degrees left, descend and maintain 4,000 for 805 Whiskey Golf.
3002.
Cross-checked, passing. That's you.
Crossing 18,000 now.
Spirit Wings 469, hello, contact
How do you
departure
reference
124.3.
the local altimeter? In Europe, we just say set QNH. Do you call it QNH here as well?
They'll say altimeter 3002. We
Okay,
don't
so
say
set
QNH.
altimeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and check in with SoCal approach now because we're getting kind of close to the altitude window there.
Sure.
SoCal approach, good afternoon. American 1763 with you, descending 17,000 inbound San Diego. Did that go through? Did you hear me?
American
Yes, I-
1763, contact approach on 119.6.
Okay, 19.6 for American 1763, so on.
American 3076, after cloud, cleared RNAV Yankee, runway 31 left approach.
After cloud cleared, RNAV Yankee, runway 31 left approach, American 3076.
San Diego approach, good afternoon. American 1763 with you, descending 16,000 inbound San Diego.
American 1763, SoCal approach, good afternoon. Reset your transponder from squawk 4635 and ident.
4635 ident, American 1763.
And in the meanwhile, speed VS minus 500. I'm just, I want to wait for, proper clearance.
Okay.
But I want to lose some energy, so we're gonna decelerate that way.
American 1753, radar contact 10 miles west of the ocean side VOR. Descend via the Comics 2 arrival. Expect the RNAV Zulu runway 27. Limerick altimeter 3000.
Okay, descend via the Comics 2. We'll expect RNAV Zulu runway 27, American 1763. Would you like me to ask him for the visual? Because I'm sure I can ask him
descent.
now. Okay.
Yeah, so how about we just tell him we would like to do the visual if the cloud situation allows us to do it.
Okay, yeah, I'll let him know.
Or something like that.
San Diego approach, American 1763. If able, can we get the visual for 27?
American 1763, affirm, you can expect that.
Okay, we'll expect the visual 27, American 1763. There you go, bud.
Awesome. Okay, so we have alt magenta and 2000 magenta for the constraint, but I've already pre-selected 9,000 in the box.
Okay.
Sorry, in the FCU, just to make my life a little bit easier. So as expected, right? If Able will do the visual, if not, then it's gonna be final up for Aeronav 27.
Okay. Yeah, and because we let him know we want the visual, he's probably going to clear us lower than what the published altitudes are going to be, because he knows that we can't make that at published altitudes.
Okay, super.
Also,
we're
he
gonna
should
aim to
anyway.
locate the run-
Say again now?
Sorry?
You go ahead.
Yeah, we forgot about this. So after we land, we're gonna aim at Bravo 7, I think.
Okay, yeah, that looks good.
Maybe Bravo 8 because of the displace threshold. But whatever it is, it's fine.
Okay. Just to make it easier, let's plan on parking at Terminal 2 East. You're looking at the ground chart. Anywhere in there is fine.
2 East, okay.
Yeah, they're not going to
So
give
Bravo
you a gate.
7 or Bravo 8.
They're not going to give you a gate assignment. That's going to be on pilot's discretion.
Okay, could you please verify with him the altimeter, because I think he said 3000.
That was correct.
And
He
we
did
have
say that.
3002.
Yep, he did say
Okay, but
3000.
whenever somebody's in doubt, just always verify.
Okay,
So let's double check with him.
I'll do that. San Diego approach, American 76B. Can you verify the altimeter setting for San Diego?
American 1763, Lindbergh altimeter 3000. Information X-ray is current winds 220 at 7, gust 21, visibility 10 miles, few clouds 2,500.
Okay, copy information X-ray and the altimeter. American 1763. Let me get an update on that weather. I'll just do it via Navigraph. I'll read it out to you because it's obviously changed.
Sure.
Okay, information X-ray. That's 2051 Zulu. The wind is 220 at 7, gusting 21. So that's pretty decent quartering crosswind from the left with pretty strong gusts. So keep that in mind for your approach speeds. Few clouds at 2500. Few clouds, that's a little more than scattered, isn't it? So that might make it a little harder to do the visual. The altimeter is 3000. Visual approaches are in use. Landing and departing runways 27. And that's basically it.
Okay, thank you. The wind might be the biggest factor in this case, since I don't have rudder pedals, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Do you want to get the lights or you want me to? We're below 10,000 feet. Usually in the United States, we put them on.
It's operator, not the country, but landing lights, you can put them on because, well, as I said, Italian speed brakes. Okay, so far so good. I'll start.
What does that mean?
And whenever I
1763, depart Cologne, heading to
DFMA.
095, vectors final.
Okay, depart Cormorant at 090, American 1763. Did you copy that? And when we get to this next mix...
1763, Coloman, Kilo, Lima, Oscar, Mike, November, and heading to 095.
Cormorant at 095, American 1763.
Sorry, I didn't get what he means. So
Okay,
we proceed
okay.
to Cloman now?
At Cloman, you're going to, after Cloman, depart heading 095.
Okay.
So would you like me to put that in? Get it ready?
No. No,
Okay.
it's fine.
All right.
Ah, I forgot to descend. VS minus 1000. So whenever I call FMA, you can just cross-check it. So I say VS minus 1000, alt blue 7000, fin blue, and if that's what you have on the FMA, you say checked.
Okay, that is checked. And again, at Cloman, so you'll turn left 095 for vectors.
After Cloman.
After Cloman's, yep.
Okay, I'll quickly tell you something. Press direct on your FMGC.
Okay.
And if you select any point right now,
Okay.
there's going to be an option radial in. When
Okay.
I tell you to sequence the flight plan, this is what you're gonna do. I will tell you which waypoint and you will select it, radial in, and then insert it, okay? But first radial in. Right now you can erase this with L6.
Okay. That's the direct too, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's gonna create this line. So right now, just erase it with L6.
Okay. Oh, crap.
Now it's gonna erase that.
Crap, I messed it up, dude. So I hit the wrong one. I hit
No,
the
you
wrong one,
didn't.
dude.
You
Okay.
erased it. Ah, no, you did mess it up.
Yeah, I did mess it
That's
up.
no problem. Okay. That's not a problem. Let me pull up the chart. Kilometer.
Yeah. Sorry, but I wasn't fully understanding what you were saying there. I apologize.
Nah, no worries. I will just refix it like this. Clear that discontinuity. Can descend 6,000. And there we go. I'll ask you to go to performance and activate approach phase for me.
Okay, yep. Okay.
And
It's in.
once that... okay, thank you. Speed managed. Okay, airfield is inside, but I feel like these visuals work a little bit differently here, so... In Europe, we would now call the ATC with having the field inside.
maintain 5,000.
Down to 5,000, American 1763. Hey, clear to 5.
Yeah. 5,000 feet below.
Check.
I'm gonna pull the heading because on that heading we can cross Klomen. And we have heading. And now I would like to ask you to select direct to...
Okay.
It's gonna be Toke and radial in.
Toke, radio in 095.
Yeah.
Click that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then insert.
Yeah.
It says no nav intercept, but okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's sequence now.
Okay.
And heading 095 is cleared. So in Europe, a while ago, we would just call the airfield inside, and you know, they would give us a clearance, and that would mean we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, here they'll ask you when you have the airfield in sight. I don't know. I don't fly in Europe, so I don't know what. This is what I expect. I'm kind of used to. At some point, they're going to give us a right-hand turn here, and then they'll ask us if we had the field in sight.
Okay. We'll flow with that and we'll see what happens. In worst case scenario, we have plenty of extra for a discontinued approach. Alt.
What is Alt Star?
So whenever you have a star, it means that the aircraft is capturing something. So GS star means it's capturing the glide slope. Log star means it's capturing localizer, and Alt star it means it's capturing the altitude.
Okay.
American 1763, turn right, heading 180, set and maintain at the 4,000.
Right, heading 180 down to 4,000, American 1763.
So heading 180, 4,000 feet blue, and we have VS minus 1,000 alt blue.
Check.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1. Flaps 1 set.
So in VS, the aircraft doesn't give a fuck about the speed basically, but minus 1,000 is a rate where the aircraft is still capable of some minor deceleration.
Okay.
We will, however, select the speed same as the last time, 200 to not overspeed flaps 2 once we call for that.
American 1763, continue right hand turn, heading 240.
Right, 240, American 1763.
American 1763, as you roll on that heading, Lindbergh will be at your 1 to 2 o'clock now, and 13 miles report inside.
Get the airfield in sight?
2,500.
You can tell him we're looking.
We're looking for that now, American 1763.
Airfield in sight.
And approach, we have the airfield in sight, American 1763.
American 1763, clear finish approach runway 27, contact Lindbergh Tower, 118.3, have a good night.
Okay, clear for the visual, and we'll call tower on 18.3. American 1763. Alright, I'm gonna get
Okay,
that.
so for now, heading 275. Before you call the tower, autopilot off, flight directors off.
Okay, stand by. Get this
Cessna
radio.
21, so departure radar contact.
No, this is more important.
Flight
Radio off.
Okay, yep.
Flight directors off,
Flight
Burton.
director's off.
And set runway track.
Runway track.
Flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
Ah, actually, disregard. Disregard. Okay,
Okay.
it's fine. Flaps 2 is fine. And now you can call.
Alright. Limburg Tower. Good afternoon. Correction. American 1763. We're on the visual 27 approach.
American 1763, Leonberg Tower, good afternoon, runway 27, winds 220 at 7, gust 21, clear to land.
Clear to land 27. American 1763. Alright, clear to land.
Okay, thank you. Push speed.
Speed.
And set 2,500 for the missed approach.
2,500. Wow, that goes fast. It's not letting me do anything between thousands. I'm not sure why.
You have to switch them. There is a
Gotcha, I
setting
see,
that allows
yep.
you to switch them.
Got it. 2,500 set.
Thank you. So, whatever the pilot flying calls, always more important than ATC.
991, extend your downwind.
Especially handoff.
Extend my down.
No, it's no big deal, but you know what? Can you please pull the speed? Set it to actually no, disregard it.
Okay.
Gear down.
You're down. Oh, crap. Good shit.
It's hard estimating my profile, but we'll recapture it. We're gonna be a bit high initially, but I'll make it work.
Okay.
So stabilization is 500 feet over the
991 is
airport
your roll to downwind
elevation.
traffic, 1 o'clock,
Can
5
you
miles.
check that for me?
A321 at 3,000.
You're looking 991.
And flaps 3. when you
Flaps
have a
3.
moment.
$2,500.
Approach speed was 143. If you want to add some gust additive as well.
Yeah, I've made it 145.
Okay. And you have a, just for your essay, you have a Cessna 172 to your 1 o'clock.
991, that traffic's now 1 o'clock, 3 miles.
Okay, thank you. Flaps full.
Flaps full.
2,000.
And you can arm the spoilers, call the cabin.
Okay. Spoilers arm. Cabin's call.
And landing checklist.
Okay.
Traffic.
I don't have a landing checklist on this
Because
thing.
I have control.
Okay. Clear the traffic on the right.
991, traffic
still
now
haven't.
3 o'clock and a mile.
I have that traffic in sight. And still
991,
at
base turn approved, runway 27, clear for the option.
1,000.
Base turn approved. Production.
Stabilize.
So we don't have the traffic. I was looking.
actually no, 500
Okay.
feet.
Yep, I'm watching
And now
that.
we are clear of conflict.
All right, remember this is a displaced threshold, so you're gonna want to touch down, obviously a bit
Yeah,
further
yeah,
than yeah. Okay, 1,200 on the vertical speed. 900.
What is the elevation?
I
500.
don't
100
have that
above.
handy. It's hold on,
Minimum 400.
50 feet. Yeah, continue. 1,100.
Okay, so we have to be stabilized now. I don't have a puppies, but I don't feel good about this, so
Now,
go around flaps.
Go around.
911, I believe.
Flaps
I have
300.
traffic.
991, roger, runway 27, clear touch and
Gear
go.
up.
Gear up.
Clear touch and go. 911.
Mentoga SRS nav.
Say again.
Mentoga SRS nav. Okay, we just continue straight ahead. Alt
Okay.
star.
Let me call. Yep.
Speed
te-
alt.
Limburg Tower, American 1763 going around.
American 1763, fly heading 275, climb maintain 2,500.
Okay, heading 275, climb maintain 2,500, American 1763.
Full heading.
Full heading.
Heading. And we have 2,500.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we were way too steep for that.
Yeah.
I don't have the puppies all the way through, but I just looking at the aiming point, it felt way too steep. Alt, flaps 1.
Okay, flaps 1.
American 1763, contact SoCal departure 119.6.
Okay, 19.6 for American 1763. SoCal approach, American 1763 on the go at 2,500.
American 1763, SoCal departure, radar contact, and welcome back. Climb maintain 5,000, turn right heading 090.
Right heading 090, climb maintain 5,000, American 1763.
Okay, so first climb, open climb 5,000 feet blue and heading 090. Flap 0.
Flap 0.
And activate approach phase.
Okay. Gotcha.
Speed VS plus 1,000.
Approach is activated.
Thank you. A bit of a shame with that one, but it was too high from the beginning. I was a bit distracted when we were flying the final, and I kind of noticed too late that we're approaching that 5 mile point when we should be, I believe, at 2,000. We crossed that at 2,900. So we kept higher rate all the way down to the 500. That's why we had such a high rate. But even with that, I think we were too high. I'm not sure because there was no puppies, but just looking down at the runway.
It was too high. And you were below 500 feet. We were like 1,200 feet a minute, so we were not stable.
No, that was not the case. I remember leveling off, not leveling off, but going to 800, right below 500. But it was still too high.
I think you would have had to dive for it to make it.
No, it was too high, in my opinion. Okay, since I don't have the puppies for this, we can request the RNAV.
Okay, you want me to ask him for that?
Yeah. For vectors for the RNAV Zulu.
Okay. SoCal approach, American 1763. When able, we will like vectors for the RNAV Zulu 27 approach.
American 1763, flight heading at 090, clear direct to Cloman, cross Cloman at above 5,000, cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 27 approach.
Okay, fly heading 090 to Cloman, and then we are cleared, across that at 5,000, cleared RNAV Zulu 27 approach, American 1763.
American 1763, actually, sorry about that, climb maintain 6,000, cross Cloman at above at 6,000, cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 27 approach.
Okay, up to 6,000, across Cloman at 6,000, and then cleared for the approach. American 1763.
Set direct Cloman and VS plus 1,000, Alt blue 6,000 feet blue.
Right. You need me to go direct Cloman, or you already got it?
No, set it.
Alright, let me find it. Alright, direct Cloman.
Cloman enough.
Well, that was a nicely done go-around either way.
Yeah, it's always something more dynamic.
So what you did is you advanced the throttles into the toga detent, and then you pulled them back a little bit. Is that what you did?
No.
Oh, you
They
left
were
them
in toga until we got liver climb.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were pretty close to the ground on the initiation of that, so...
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. Okay, and you cleared for the
And
approach.
descent, Alt blue, 5,200 feet blue, flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Cross idle. And descent Alt magenta.
Check.
So so we can go all the way to platform 2,000 feet, and we will do it with respect for the constraints.
Okay.
Why is the ignition on?
I don't know. Does it come on for landing configuration? I know on MD-11.
Ah, yes, in the
yeah.
CO it does. In the CO it does.
It is for the Boeings. We go to continuous ignition, and the MD-11 is automatic. Does that?
Speed selected 200.
Hey, we made a good effort for the visual, but we'll just do the RNAV now, right?
American 1763, Limerick Tower now for you.
Yeah, because without the puppies, I mean, we'll see. If I see it well, then maybe later I will just call visual and we'll disconnect.
Okay.
If not, then we'll continue with RNAV. We have to at some point disconnect the flight directors anyways, and then we have to go to the same kind of technique with the
traffic, can you come out of that?
flight directors off and bird on. But how quickly do it depends if you see it well.
Copy.
Sure.
All right. Limerick Tower, hello. We're back with you, American 1763, on the RNAV Zulu 27 approach.
American 1763, welcome back, runway 27, winds 220 at 7, gust 21, clear to land.
Clear to land 27, American 1763. All right, you're clear to land.
Thank you.
Hey, I don't have a landing checklist on this thing you sent me, so what is that?
So it's just ECAM memo and landing control.
Okay. Cam memo. I don't have to push anything, right? You just take a glance down at it?
No. You just say it and I check if it's all green.
I know
Okay.
one, we're gonna make the full stop.
991 second.
We're gonna make this a full stop.
Alright, as you roll out on the downwind, traffic for you is a 321, 1
The same
o'clock,
guy again.
6 miles, 1,000 people.
I will see how that goes.
Yep.
I was expecting an Raider, to be honest.
Alright, we're looking.
This is very common for San Diego. This is a big issue over there for that.
Flaps 2.
Flaps 2. Big checks.
Final up and speed. Gear down.
Gear down.
2,500.
.991 traffic for you now is 133 miles, 2 miles.
$2,000.
Flaps 3.
Flaps 3.
991 traffic, 1 o'clock, 2 miles.
911, the traffic.
Oh, want me to arm the speed
Do you
brakes?
see him, sir? 911.
Yes, and flaps full.
Okay, flaps full.
Hey, from
You have speed brakes in right now.
991,
Track it
follow
out.
that traffic, runway 27, clear to land.
Because I have control.
Okay.
follow the traffic, clear land 27, 991.
Brakes arm.
Descend. Descend.
Boy.
Descend. Descend.
Report that we have TICAS array.
Descend. Descend.
Limerick Tower 1763. We have a TA.
Think
all right.
Think pull. Think
1,000.
1763, roger traffic for you, Cessna 172, your 4 o'clock position in 1 mile.
Go around flaps.
Flaps 3. And Limerick Tower 1763 going around.
American 1763, fly heading 275, come and maintain 2,500.
Okay, flight heading 275, altitude 2500, American 1763.
Set 2,500, pull heading 275 and gear up.
2,500, pull heading 275, gear up.
And then there's Limerick Tower, November 9 for the up time short of runway 27, Charlie 1.
I'll
You get-
start heading. Jesus.
You're getting a full experience, the San Diego experience today, my dude.
Seriously.
This is
Flaps
exactly
1.
how it's like there. Flaps 1.
Alt.
American 1763, contact
Check.
SoCal departure 119.6.
AP2.
In 19.6 for American 1760.
Ooh. Flap 0.
Flap 0. Alright. So club
Speed
approach.
selected to 30.
Hello again, American 1763 on the go. 3,500.
American 1763, SoCal departure radar contact. Welcome back. You wanting the RNAV again?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd like to set up for that again, please.
American 1763, not a problem. Climb maintain 6,000. I'll have a turn for you shortly.
Hey, climb maintain 6,000. We'll expect a turn shortly, American 1763.
Jesus Christ.
Hey.
VS plus 1,500 alt blue, 6,000 feet blue, activate approach phase.
Okay, yeah, that's checked and approach phase is active.
Okay, so minimum diversion fuel. What do we have? Let me
Okay.
see.
Extra is negative.
Yeah, that's lying.
Yeah.
Disregard that. So we have to know what was the alternate. It was 2.8, so 5.6. Right now we have 5.7. So we have 1.1 extra at the moment. That's gonna be what, 15 minutes maybe.
Okay, yeah,
So we can afford one more approach, one more go around.
okay.
And you know what?
American 1763, turn right heading to 070, enable direct Cloman.
Let me give you direct.
So 070 direct Cloman.
Alright, I got your Coleman right here.
Okay,
American
common enough.
1763, SoCal.
Yeah, that was direct Clomans, and say again for the rest.
American 1763, that was the most important part. Heading 075, now direct Cloman.
We're direct Cloman now, American 1763.
Okay, so well, obviously nothing we can do about that kind of stuff. If you have an array, you have to follow it, period.
Right.
It's kind of a weird array to get on final to get the descent.
That was pretty low
but,
to the
well,
ground for that, right?
Yeah, but you know, rules are rules. Of course, you're looking visually, and if you see the ground coming, then you're gonna ignore it. I started already pitching the aircraft up during the array, but then shortly afterwards it changed into TA again.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because that felt very, very uncomfortable. That's a bit unusual. Real aircraft will give you climb most likely.
Right, I
Not
would think
a
so.
descent in that situation. But well, it is what it is. Memory item for TCAS array is just fly the green. So on the PFD scale there appear the green band, and you just have to fly that. The reason for the first go round.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
The reason waves for the first go round was I mismanaged the vertical profile and we were too high in the visual. So we took that one around, and on that one we also had the TCAS, but only traffic advisory. This time we went around because we got resolution advisory, and then we were so close to the
American
ground that, you know,
1763, class Cloman 6000, cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 27 approach.
Cross Coleman at 6,000, cleared RNAV Zulu 27 approach, American 1763. We're not at minimum fuel
So-
yet, right?
No, 5.6 is diversion fuel, and I think with these conditions, I would consider going into alternate fuel to commit here, because the weather is good, everything is good. We went around this time because of a traffic, not
Yep.
because of some kind of, you know, situation that cannot be resolved. So
Okay,
for now we are committed, and we'll see how that goes, I would say.
agreed.
But let's keep that number in mind, 5.6.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I got my little knee board on right now, 5.6.
And let's just hope this time there isn't a Cessna to give us a resolution advisory.
So this is actually so true because San Diego is extremely congested airspace, and there are constant violations of the general aviation aircraft. They're constantly causing these things at San Diego. So we're actually getting a real
Sorry. Hold there. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
And now you can go.
Yeah, you're getting the real experience is all I'm saying. This happens in reality like every day there.
What to do?
Get the general aviation aircraft out of there is what they need to do, but they don't. And you're good
I mean,
without,
at least it's fun. At least there's
Yeah.
plenty of things to do.
You're good with auto brakes low?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Ground supporters are still armed. It's fine.
Yeah, we can keep that. We didn't get to reconfigure after missed approach because the situation was so dynamic other than the flaps, but that's fine. No big deal. We had bigger issues to resolve at that moment. Descent alt magenta 5200 magenta.
Checked. Hey, passengers get a little antsy back there. Just.
Yeah, you of course normally you do the announcement after each go around. But you know, you do it. You're the captain. Press idle.
Okay, I'll take care of it off radio there. Alright, let's try it, man. Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm.
Let's just hope this Cessna. He said full stop, right?
I hope so.
I think he said full stop.
Good afternoon. November 943 Golf Charlie. We're climbing 32,500 heading.
What?
November 904 and 3 Golf Charlie. Signal departure radar contact. Maintain VFR at below 6,500. At below 6,500. 904 takeoff Charlie. American 1763, Limburg Tower 118.3, so long.
Okay, third time's a charm. Limburg Tower 18.3, American 7063, so long.
Flaps 2.
Flaps 2, speed checks. Limburg Tower, hello again. American 1763 on the RNAV Zulu runway 27 approach.
Limburg, American 1763, Limburg Tower, wind 230 at 7, gust 21, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land 27, American 1763. Are the Cessnas out of the way now?
There's nobody else in the pattern but you now.
Perfect, thank you.
Were you getting RAs or TAs from those guys?
RA.
We had an RA. We had to descend. That's why we went around.
Okay.
You can also tell him the first time we got a TA,
Okay.
but the second time on the first approach, I mean, we got a TA, but the
Okay.
second one was RA. He was very close for comfort.
All right. On the first approach, we had a TA for that same aircraft, just so you know. Second time was an RA.
Okay.
So maybe he needs to vector him a little bit further away.
Yeah, we usually have to communicate that as well, but we didn't have the time, you know.
Yeah, and he
because
didn't
this
ask.
goes like
A lot of times they ask the reason
I mean,
for
you
the
have
go-around.
to you have to say it yourself when it happens. But if you don't have it or don't know it, don't know the memory items, how are you supposed to know? And the situation is way too fast to handle it.
Yeah.
So we just had to apply it first. Usually it goes like, so I apply the memory item in terms of flying, and you just go American whatever the call sign TCAS array. And whatever he tells you after that, it doesn't matter. He can say turn left, right, descent, climb, you just ignore that, you know?
Right, right.
Enable and off we go.
Yep.
Very bizarre, this descent. It's the second time I have a TCAS array in ToLissA on the approach, and the first time I had it was on the go around, and it was also a descent.
Maybe they need to fix that, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Phoenix does it pretty well. Maybe they need to ask these guys how it should be coded. Okay, we don't have to rush with the gear. We have a pretty low speed, so we can just keep flying.
2,500.
Checked. I'm checking the radio altimeter.
Okay.
Speed final up.
Okay. Check.
Miss approach altitude set. Gear down.
Gear down.
$2,000.
Flaps 3.
Flaps 3. Speed checks. Gear down 3 green.
And flaps full.
Flaps full. Speed checks.
And when ready with cabin, landing checklist.
Yep. Hey, landing checklist. ECAM.
Landing, no blue.
Landing config.
Sorry?
Landing config, are you good? Is that it?
Landing, no blue. That's it. And landing checklist completed.
Landing
with that.
check is complete.
It was also a very interesting situation because a lot of Airbus airplanes, they have auto TCAS now. So instead of grabbing the stick and saying TCAS I have control on TA, you just get TCAS blue and you call that. And you can keep the autopilot engaged, and then the TCAS blue will change into TCAS, green.
Mm-hmm.
And the aircraft will fly the array itself, and it's very beneficial to keep the autopilot on when you have traffic because
Okay.
it reduces workload so much, especially for the go-around. Go-around as well, it's better to do it with automation if you can. But this aircraft doesn't have auto
1000.
TCAS, so
Yeah.
as a memory item, we have to disconnect everything and then try everything by hand. A lot of workload. Is there a puppies for that or what? No, there is. Now I see them.
Yeah, you see them. They're off to the right-hand side. They're hard to see because of the
Right-hand
haze.
side. Yeah, okay. I'll wait a little bit until I can see them better.
Okay. A little bit left of center line, but otherwise okay.
500.
God damn it, I can
100
barely
above.
see that.
You got 3 red.
Four.
Pilot off.
Okay.
Why
Minimum
does it keep... Continue.
Okay. Watching the altitude.
300.
500 foot stable, 900 feet per minute descent.
$200.
Looking good.
What's my ground speed?
You got 139.
Thank you.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Oh, it floated.
That's okay. Ooh, it's still soft though.
Nah, but it floated. I pulled a bit too much at the end.
Versus green.
Manual braking. I'll stow them because I can only use them in the highest detent. We won't
Okay.
force it. We'll go with the next.
All right, your right engine thrust reverser did not stow.
American 1763 left to enable contact ground 123.9.
Okay, left one able ground 23.9. American 1763.
It
Welcome
didn't
to
stow
San
for you.
Diego.
Thank you. Okay, reverse is
How about
normal.
now?
Yep, stowed.
Okay, thank you.
Southwest 5742 ready, runway 27.
Southwest 5742, runway 2.
Yeah. I
Alright.
need rudder pedals.
Yeah, you do. All right, you want to stop here? I'll call ground.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
We'll just cross the holding point
Sure.
and go for it.
Limburg ground, good afternoon. American 1763 is clear of 27 at Bravo 10. Request taxi terminal 2 east side.
American 1763, Texas parking via Bravo.
Hey, parking via Bravo, American 1763.
So
Okay.
is that right, if I remember
It's
that
immediate left
correctly?
turn right here. So hard left turn,
Okay,
this is
thank you.
Bravo right here.
And we can store the flaps
Okay, I'll work it now.
to the weather radar and the TCAS. Fucking TCAS.
There's AP.
I wonder if a better decision would be to just go around when we saw this guy so close without waiting for that array.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's gonna baffle me.
Yeah, standby. No, we'll keep the TCAS on. They like it on when you're on the ground.
It's not the same thing. If you just keep the other switch, the radar or whatever it's called on, so there is a switch that has an auto and on position. If you keep that on, it's fine, and then you can deselect the TCAS, and the TCAS will be only the TCAS. The other one is the transponder.
Okay. In the past, they told me to keep TARA, but I'll do alt off. All right. After landing checklist.
Yes, please.
Yep, I'm doing it now. Active pop. That is complete. Well, that was a very nice landing. Either way.
I don't know. I'm not so sure of that, but to be honest, after all these go-arounds and TICAS array descent into the ground, I just want to be at the gate at that point. If I'm being honest.
Hey, there was a lot. I know. You got the full experience here. All right, let's keep it going. You're gonna make a right turn here. Anywhere near the Southwest aircraft on your right, you can park in there.
So right hand.
Yeah, right
turn
here.
here.
Turn here. Yep.
Okay.
And then that'll put us on Terminal 2
We're gonna
east side.
overshoot the line, so don't worry. We're gonna turn.
Okay. You're looking good on
Radio
my
check.
5x5.
What?
Okay. Okay.
So wait.
Any one of those spots on your
So-
right, you can take.
On my right. Ah, this is southwest.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so the next
Any one of
right.
these
Yeah,
gates
no,
will
no, no worries. Might deviate a bit because I'm turning off the lights.
No problem.
Okay.
I-
Oh, you know what? Let's see if this
Oh,
new thing we
yeah.
got works.
I see it. Do you see it?
Guitar
No, I mean it's there, but I don't see what's on it yet.
It says.
But I play on the laptop, so maybe once I get a bit
Guitar
closer.
Okay, there it is.
1061, you're cleared to Honolulu, Padres 2 departure, Mallet transition, then it's filed, going to be the SID, except expect
Oh,
flight
yeah, it's
level
working good.
3805 minutes after departure. Departure is on 109.6,
That's so
indicates
cool.
work 6721.
It says keep coming right.
Can you clear to the Honolulu International Airport to
Little more right.
Oh, this is very nice.
What's the transition?
Even with the distance.
Yeah. And it
Mallet.
has A321. Look at that.
Yeah, that's just like the real thing,
How
and I
the
hate the real
air-
thing. Sorry for stepping on the
airport-
brakes,
It's
but
okay.
I have a button
Road
only,
to
not
departure,
pedals.
Mallet transition, expect
It's
flight
gonna
level
shake you in your-
3801
Sure.
after departure frequency of
I hate this.
119.6, squawk
We gotta get you a nice setup, man.
721.
Okay, I don't see it anymore, so
And one more. Stop.
there we go.
Stop.
Target
Okay.
1061,
Okay, parking
super,
brake sets.
feedback is correct, call for push into Charlie.
So I didn't tell you this on the landing. We need to turn on the chrono to measure 3 minutes from cooling time, but let's just say cooling time elapsed.
Okay,
And
I
you
think
say
it-
that
I
out
think it
loud.
has anyway.
Yeah, and then you check if the APU is available, and if it is, you say it, and that means for me that I can shut down.
APU is available.
Okay, shut down.
Oh man, what a flight, huh?
Oh. Man, I'm too tired for this.
You did great, man. That was really good. 2 go-arounds.
I'm just.
Whoa! You blew one or more tires. What? Why?
Maybe the landing wasn't so good.
It was 125 feet per minute.
For me, I got the ecom that the nose wheel tire is blown. But
It says
now
wheel
the
tire
left
low
died.
pressure. It's saying we blew
What?
all the tires because of the brakes. Oh
I have
shoot!
no
Brake
way.
temps. Look at the brake temps.
Yeah, that is pretty high.
What did you? Were you really on them that hard or what?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that I have a button only. I don't have the pedals, you know. So I just
no. You were just
I
basically
just-
max manual braking then, huh?
yeah, kind of, because that's the only thing I have.
Oh boy.
But I never had them at 700 degrees.
That's crazy, man. Hey, that's okay. I won't tell anybody.
Okay, don't
Should we-
tell anyone.
Should we do the
I'm-
parking checklist or what?
Yeah, let's go for
Okay.
it. Let me just turn off the
Engines.
beacon. Off.
Seatbelts.
Off.
External lights.
Set.
And fuel pumps.
Now off.
All right. Parking brakes and chocks.
Parking brake set.
And I don't think we're gonna need to worry. We're not going anywhere now. Transponder.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I got the transponder. Stand by. Company mobile phone. I don't know what that is. Okay. Yellow electric pump.
Off.
Okay.
I
parking
can't even
checklist
fix
complete.
that. This aircraft is grounded.
and so are you.
Probably, yeah.
No, both of us are. Well, hey,
Yeah,
Casper,
At
this
least
was
it sits even.
this was a lot of fun.
Because
either
now
way,
all the
man.
tires died.
It's okay. I don't mind. We'll get new tires on this bad boy. At least we're at the gate. They don't have to tow us off the runway, right?
Yeah. At least we've made it here. Even with the tires blown, you can taxi. You just have to be very slow.
Yeah.
I don't know if all of them, but 2 of them can be blown, I think, at least.
I will tell you, as from an aircraft maintenance standpoint, if you do that, you will absolutely destroy the wheels.
Well, if you have to, you have to.
Sure, of course. Yeah, necessity is, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And we have to because we have to pretend everything is fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I gotta tell you, I really appreciate you taking time. I know it's late for you, but I really enjoyed this experience. It really validated for me that this shared flight thing works really good. And I learned a lot about how to fly Airbus because I just did not understand this before, but I feel like I understand it a lot better now. So thank you very much for being here today, and I hope you enjoyed it too.
Yes, I enjoyed it. It was so hectic, but I'm happy we are at the gate and I earned my sleep after 21 hours. Yeah, so not happy about the tires, but happy about everything else. It's really good, this plugin. I think it's great, man, honestly.
If you go look outside...
And thanks for walking.
Yeah, of course. If you look outside, you're like right on the center line. You did a great job with the taxi, so...
Tell that to the tires.
Yeah, man. Hey, and also Auto DGS. Now you have one that works, and it works really good.
Yeah, that's a massive thing, honestly. I just have to redo my cameras because at the end I couldn't see it anymore, but I think it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It works just like the real thing. You have the the aircraft type, you have the distance, even the sensitivity. We hate this in real life because it's so sensitive. It detects your 5 centimeters of that line is gonna start yapping at you, go right, go left. And it's super frustrating. We prefer people. So nice to have this.
Yeah. Well, cool. Now you got it.
But I wonder though, when do you have that and when do you have a marshaller now? Is it like...
It's probably airport specific. So there's going to be some, like, a lot of spots, because I fly cargo a lot, where they're kind of like open stands where there's no anything nearby. You'll probably have a human marshaller for those. But when you're near a terminal like this, a lot of times you'll have these installed. Because you're not going to have this post sticking up on some remote cargo stand in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
So it probably knows where your parking is at, and it will put in a human marshaller for those.
Brakes hot.
Oh,
Aircraft
yes.
says. Well, I think we already know, but thank you.
I'll go ahead and put in the chocks. Not that it matters at this point, right?
Yeah, I don't
We're
think
not
it
going
does.
anywhere.
Not with that aircraft, no.
No. All right, chocks are in. All right, man. Well, I think I should let you get some sleep now. It's probably pretty late over there.
Yes, it's 1:15 midnight.
Oh yeah, go to bed, man. But thank you again for this experience. I really enjoyed it. I hope we can do it again. Do you have the Rotate MD-11 by chance?
No.
Well,
No, unfortunately, I don't.
If you ever get it, I'll be happy to take you for a flight, because that's an aircraft that I really do know well, and I don't sound so.
We could
so
fly.
dumb.
We could fly 737 because that's free.
Do you have the level up?
'Cause
Because that's what I got.
Is that a freeware as well? Because I
It's
could
free.
get it if
Yes.
it is.
It's
Yeah,
free.
yeah, I can get it. I have the Zibo at the moment, but if it's free, I can have both. I don't see why not.
Oh, it's really fun, and I know that plane very well as well. So like I can actually competently operate that, and I know how to work the aircraft, and you know how to be a good like commercial pilot. So between the two of us, I think we can do a good job.
I would say that depends
Well, I mean,
on the circumstances, as we just saw.
listen, you're employed by a real world airline, so obviously you know what you're doing. So
I just hope they don't watch the VODs.
ah,
Okay, I will be down to try the 737 for sure. I will get the level up, and when we have some time off, as difficult as it is with our time zone difference, we are definitely gonna fly that one because I wanna, learn how to use the tractor.
sure,
Even
yeah,
though it's a
and
tractor.
that I can teach you with confidence. Most of my live streams are actually in that plane, so I got that one dialed in, and we'll have a good time with that.
Okay, awesome, man. In that case, I'll go now, and we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you on Discord. Thanks again, and you have a great evening. It was a pleasure, Casper.
Yeah, you have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
And pleasure is mutual. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, there you have it, guys. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down, take a break. I do want to fly another live stream later today, probably in the 737, because I just can't get enough of that plane. But other than us blowing some tires here, this was a really fun experience to be with a real Airbus pilot. You could clearly tell he knows what he's doing here, because I don't. His landing was great. Just the way his controls are set up for the brakes. We just got him a little hot. And we had two go-arounds due to traffic, which, you know, gives you the full experience here, and he did a great job managing that. I gotta tell you, I love this shared flight thing. It's so much fun, even when you're not flying. Getting the flaps for people, doing the radio calls, you know, setting up the FMC, all those things are a lot of fun for me. Because I flew coming down. So we flew from Portland to San Francisco. We did that offline, and I flew the aircraft, and he was my co-pilot for that. And then we switched for this one. But really, really fun. I highly encourage you guys to get on this. If any of you guys ever want to fly with me on shared flight, I'm down. Any of the aircraft that I got, 75, 76, level up 737s, rotate MD-11, I'm down for that. So this is really exciting for me, and hope you guys enjoyed it too.